Thursday, July 31st, McElroy and Cubelic in the morning. One more day until we get to August, the month which college football begins. 0 days until you have live tackle football on your television screen. 0 days.
Hey.
That is tonight, as you will get the Hall of Fame game, Chargers, Lions. Be good for a couple plays. I usually kind of hang with it for a while because we'll get some guys that we watched in college that are getting a shot to make a roster, trying to prove themselves. What you know the mindset of going into a game like this.
Yeah.
Specifically early preseason when some cuts haven't been made. What's the vibe in the locker room, around the facility, when you know you have this opportunity in front of you for a lot of guys that you probably also know are not going to be on that roster?
Don't get hurt. I mean, I know it sounds bad, but like the number one thing in preseasons, don't get hurt. And unfortunately, I got hurt in 2 out of 3 preseasons.
Yeah.
Dislocated thumb. Thanks a lot. Center on the bull rush against the Eagles. And then I tore my PCL against Detroit in my 3rd year. And had a great game against Detroit. Was so mad because I was playing so well. I woke up the next day, thought I had a calf strain. And sure enough, nope, this doesn't feel quite like a calf strain. I had to basically crawl my way into the training room on the next day. Don't get hurt, number one. Number two, the biggest thing from a quarterback standpoint is you're going to have an offensive line that's god-awful. I'm telling you, it is so bad. And it's not the guy's fault. It's not because they're not capable guys individually. Not that they all have like height, weight, size, speed, skill. But there's a good chance that 2 out of the 5 guys that are blocking for you are coming from either low-level G5 or FCS. And they haven't seen what they're about to see in some cases. Literally my 3rd snap ever in the NFL preseason was J.J. Watt against a guy that played at Wagner State. I'm just telling you, it didn't go well for me, nor did it go well for Wagner State. Okay? 3rd snap ever in the NFL. Houston Texans, Monday Night Football. So that's going to happen. You got to know how to get the ball out. Ball's got to come out immediately. And then you got to make sure everyone's buttoned up. The other thing, too, and these things kind of wash themselves out as camp goes along. The first preseason game is the toughest one to survive. Because there are guys that will play in that first game, they can't even learn the playbook. And once they realize that guy can't learn the playbook, the Turk tells them to go upstairs, bring their playbook, and get them out. But by the time you get to week 2,
just that quick, huh?
Yeah. Oh, heck yeah. By the time you get to week 2, week 3, week 4, the guys can consume the information. Like that's the first line of demarcation is if you don't know the personnel or if you don't know the plays, you got no shot. And that's the fastest way off the team. So, yeah, the first one's the hardest one. So, survive the night. They should be in pretty good shape.
All right, so NFL preseason gets underway tonight. There was going to be some rookie intrigue with the Chargers. I don't know the situation exactly with Trey Harris right now. You know, they brought Amarian Hampton in, drafted Amarian Hampton. They've gone ham on running backs, by the way. I felt bad for Kamani Vidal. They drafted him out of Troy last year, and I felt like he had a chance to make the team. And then you go grab Najee Harris, who's now a Charger. If you weren't aware of that maybe a potential watch tonight. And I think did they draft Ollie Gordon also? I
thought
I could be wrong on Ollie Gordon.
I got you. Hang on.
The NFL is impossible for me to keep up
Miami
with.
Dolphins. Yeah, I was going to say Dolphins. I don't think you went to.
You got Hassan Haskins and Kamani Vidal still on the roster, so it's crowded running back. But Bradley Bozeman now there with the Chargers. He signs a new deal this year.
Nothing says San Diego /LA like Bradley Bozeman. He's like the most country, nicest, most down to earth dude. I think for a while he's living in an RV, wasn't he?
I do recall that. Yes.
Yeah, like the most down to earth guy in the history
and just
of Alabama
like
football.
His story of somebody when he first got to Alabama wasn't like an NFL prospect. He makes it. Very charitable young man. He and his wife have an awesome charity that they've put together that they utilize, and it's cool to see somebody have a career like that. It really is.
He's awesome. He's a good player.
He is a good player, and you got Rashawn Slater and Joe Alt as your tackles, and they've bumped Mekhi Becton, who was a first-round tackle, down to guard. I mean, it should be with Zion Johnson, should be a great offensive line, and he's Jim Harbaugh. That's what he's going to want to do.
Yeah.
Even though you've got Justin Herbert and you went and got Quentin Johnson and Trey Harris, he's going to run the football. So some guys that are interesting to watch. DJ Uiagalelei may see some action tonight.
Ooh, we got action.
Do we?
Yeah, I'm watching just for that.
Over under interceptions from Uiagalelei.
He's going to light it up.
1.
Over 1?
Yeah.
No,
we gotta
not
know
1.
he's
Over
play.
under. Over 1 or under
Over
1?
1.
Over 1.
What if all of a sudden, like, it clicked back to when Uiagalelei was like a true freshman? All of a sudden, he became a dude in the NFL. That would so happen. It's like
Another oddity with the Chargers is Taylor Heineke is listed ahead of Trey Lance on their depth chart.
Taylor Heineke's better than
Trey Lance plays for the Chargers?
Well, he was with the Cowboys.
Technically, no.
Well,
Trey Lance is on the roster
right
for the Chargers.
I did not know that.
That's why you listen to the show.
Taylor Heineke's considerably better than Trey Lance.
There it is.
Taylor Heineke's kind of a sneaky dude. Like, he's got to be going year 9 or 10. He started in Minnesota, went to Atlanta, has kind of bounced around a little bit.
Washington for a minute?
Might have been in Washington for a minute, but he played at Old Dominion. I remember watching him at Old Dominion. I was like, dang, that guy's kind of a stud. I don't know. I think he got in a little bit of trouble. And then I believe that was when he's kind of bounced around, but he's a talented kid.
What did he get in trouble
Yeah, this will be
for?
year 10.
Yeah. I think like a DUI or something. I don't remember, to be honest with you. But I think it was something like that.
Detroit, by the way, drafted Tyleik Williams, defensive lineman out of Ohio State first, then Tate Ratledge, then Isaac Tesla out of Arkansas. That was a weird pick, by the way. Not in general, but just 6th pick in the 3rd round. Didn't feel like he was going to go off the board there. You also took Dan Jackson, safety out of Georgia, before you took Dominic Lovett, wide receiver out of Georgia, which I don't think anybody would have predicted before last year's college football season began. Ahmad Hassan, edge out of Boise, and Miles Frazier, offensive lineman out of LSU.
That Hussein kid's pretty good from Boise. He can get after you. He's a little undersized, but I'd be kind of interested to see how he does.
So that's maybe some of the things.
He plays his freaking tail off.
You're watching there for Detroit, and second-team quarterback Hendon Hooker. He'll get some snaps tonight, so you'll be able to watch him, get an idea what he's capable of. So, yeah, you got Mekhi Wingo there on that Detroit depth chart defensively, a guy we watch play at LSU. So a couple guys we'll be keeping our eye on, but it's live tackle football at the end of the day. You can say whatever you want about Hall of Fame game, too early, not enough guys going to get real snap. It's live tackle football on your television tonight.
Don't be a snob. Preseason's for people too.
What can we come up with that? What can our name be for there's so many bowl games. Oh, it's preseason. It's still live tackle football. It's spring football. It's live tackle football on your TV. We need a name for those folks. They're like, all football is not good enough for them. I want something more demeaning than football snob. I want something that's more offensive than football snob that we need to call those people. Because it's live tackle football.
I get it. If you are, I think you just call them pretty boy footballers because they don't want to watch pretty football. Tonight is literally you play for your livelihood. A lot of these guys will be coaching in middle school football this fall.
And there's nothing wrong with that. I hope they make it more than 3 games because I got fired 3 games into my middle school coaching career.
That's a phenomenal thing. Like, I think it's an admirable job. It's an awesome job. It's a great spot to start your career when you want to get into coaching. It's awesome. But that's the reality is this is their last shot in some cases for some of these guys that'll play tonight. And to make it in the NFL, a lifelong dream. And I think if you have a heart as a parent or as a football enthusiast, you want to watch tonight knowing the reality is most of the guys that are on the field in the second quarter will not be on the roster. It is hard to make an NFL roster. So it's hard. It's a hard reality. But, man, I like seeing the guys that rise to the occasion, man. You know, I mean, those guys that are kind of unheard of, and next thing you know, it's like, dang, this Danny Woodhead kid's having a nice preseason. Makes the team. You know what I mean? It's pretty cool when you look at stuff like that. So even if you don't appreciate the quality of the football being played, because you probably won't. Let's just call it what it is. Appreciate the stories that are potentially being told about some of the kids that are trying to realize a lifelong dream. So that's how I would phrase it. It's a lot of fun, and I look forward to watching tonight.
Yeah.
I always watch a Hall of Fame game.
No, 100%. And listen, however many snaps these guys play tonight, it'll be that many snaps more than I played in the NFL. So I mean, even to be here and put that uniform on and go out and compete a little bit is still pretty cool, and something that you can take to your grave that you'll tell your grandkids about. You know, went out there and competed. Put that light blue, yellow lightning bolt on my helmet and got out there and played in L.A., which not many people even realize that they're in L.A. yet. Still call them San Diego. I do it all the time.
I do too. I don't mean to.
What are the teams that you will most never reference their new cities in? Mine for me, I think is, and this is a weird one too because they've been multiple places. Yeah, it's Las Vegas. I
don't struggle as much with the cities. I struggle a lot more
with mascots. Yeah, like I'll never call the Commanders
the Commanders.
Yeah.
They're Washington football team to me. That's what they always were. That's what they'll always be.
Gotcha.
I'm not getting canceled today.
Gotcha.
Not me. They're the
you can't deny that they were once the Redskins. It's what they were called.
No.
Yeah.
That was Cole, not me.
It's me. I am Cole. I said it because they were once called that.
Have you seen like the push they're trying to get in order to get the land, that federal land that they own to build the new stadium? They like DC won't give it to, or DC wants to give it to them. Trump says no unless they change their name back. Like I don't even know what's real and what's not, but it's good. It's good like political football intertwining drama.
Well, if you go deep into it too and see the large contingency of who is assisting to help get that name back, it becomes even more interesting.
I haven't done that. I haven't gone that deep, but I've been following, like every time I see an article on.
It's the same thing with Florida State. When people get mad with that, then it comes to the tribe who has to step up and say, we want them to have this. We allow them to have this. This is good for us. And there it is. And there's a large contingency there that wants it to be back. And they've made that public, but that doesn't matter. So it is what it is. But yeah, that's one that's weird for me too. I don't ever. That's just not going to happen.
I struggle with it. I was on Get Up for like 2 years and
brag about it.
I can promise you it's not bragging. I was on Get Up for like 2 years. I think I called them the Redskins like 6 times. And like, you know, Graziano and Greeny, and that's just like, okay, yeah. It wasn't intentional, dude.
It happened.
Like, come on now. Come on, Mike.
I'm trying to think of the other ones that are tough for me that have moved recently. I don't think
the Winnipeg Jets.
I still struggle with the Rams being in LA, but I do view them more LA than the Chargers. I mean, the Chargers were San Diego forever. Like, I don't think I'll ever call the Cardinals the Chicago Cardinals, but I mean, not even the Phoenix Cardinals. They're Arizona Cardinals. So they've been a lot of things though.
Yeah, I call them the St. Louis Cardinals.
That too.
From their original stop.
Louisville.
Were they in Louisville before?
There are Cardinals. There are Cardinals there.
I've heard that.
Yeah.
I am.
Houston brings up a great point. Tweeting into the show. There's a few teams, but I'll never be able to call this X. It'll always be Twitter. You guys hear me every day, so you can tweet into the show. I ain't calling it X. This is not a thing. It's not a thing.
Elon, get him. Get him, Grok.
So dumb.
Get him, Grok. Get him.
Grok's tracking this right now with
he knows.
their AI listening devices that they have in all of our phones and computers. Great. Good for you. Not calling you X. Never will.
We did this last week when you were out, Cole. I think we did it Friday, Damian. Yeah, I think it was Friday. Yeah, because I was on the lake. We did an NFL kind of preview and just kind of went through some stuff. Not ton. Like, we're never going to be the show that goes deep in the weeds of the NFL. I think we actually have a very intriguing NFL season coming up. I am a big college football fan. College football will always be my number one. I watch NFL every Sunday. I enjoy it.
Still live tackle football.
I don't have 8 games on watching, NFL Red Zone Season Pass La Liga 2.
Hold on, you're not grinding on your fantasy team?
I could care less. I don't play fantasy. I think it is the dumbest thing in the history of American society. Yes, I do. Oh, my stats. Like, you're acknowledging your nerdiness. It's like like acknowledging that you're a fish fan. You're acknowledging that you like to use recreational Drugs, and you're saying it out loud to coworkers. Kind of blows my mind. But I look at fantasy. You're acknowledging your nerdiness. You're a nerd. It's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine. I just think most people. I acknowledge my own nerdiness all the time. All the time. But I feel like most people push back against nerdiness. Oh, I'm not a nerd. Get on my motorcycle. I play paintball. Ugh.
Wow.
Like, whatever.
Paintball.
I don't know. I was just trying to think of like something that's like sneaky hardo. I don't know why that came to mind. I'm in a deer stand. I don't know. Like, I don't know what else you want me to say. Anyways. And then you're playing fantasy like, oh my gosh, I can't believe Amon-Ra St. Brown had only 6 catches today. I had him down for at least 11 points.
Yeah, I mean, if he scores a touchdown, it's actually a good day.
Oh my gosh, who's your quarterback this year? Oh, do you have Jared Goff? Oh, that's a great pick in the 6th round.
That's great value if you get him in the 6th round.
In the 6th, yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
Don't know anything about it. But.
What defense do you have? I shove mine out every week based on matchups.
Well, kicker's your biggest problem. You got
Exactly.
concerns. If he's off that week,
Do you guys have a utility player?
Yes, we do. It's called a flex.
Do you guys have a double quarterback league?
I do. In one of my leagues, I
Are y'all PPR?
what is double quarterback league?
You can start 2 quarterbacks.
Yeah, but you can't do that.
Well,
I mean, Lyman Rowe played 2 at once a long time ago.
My problem with my 2024 team is that I actually had a lot of injuries, so I had to go to the waiver wire.
That happens. David Montgomery, late in the season.
I mean, I've heard them all.
Sounds like you've heard them all and then some.
Gosh. It's unbelievable to me.
But it's fun. You should try it.
No, it's lame. I'm not going to.
Lame.
I want to watch games for the result on the field. I don't want to be sitting there, watching the Atlanta Falcons going in and being like, throw it to Drake London, throw it to Drake London, throw it to Drake London. Like, that is so annoying to me. Watch the game. Pick a tide.
Yeah.
Our kids have it right.
Players.
Our kids have it right. Who are you rooting for? Every game.
They just pick a winner.
Dodgers, Reds. Who are you rooting for? Who do you think?
Reds.
Dodgers. Come on.
Shohei was cramping up.
He did.
He did cramp last night.
Soft.
But all right, that's my rant on fantasy. I just have no time for it.
I think we just lost half our audience.
No,
I
I
love
think
fantasy so much.
Well, that's fine. They can love fantasy. If fantasy's so great, why don't they do it in college football?
Oh boy.
I know it exists.
They got it.
Yeah.
I know it exists, but I don't hear people whining about their fantasy roster in college.
Well, there are only 32 teams in the NFL. There's 6,000 in college football, so you
It
kind of
feels like this should make it easier for you to pick winners.
True.
I mean,
like if you had Amari in Hampton last year, you're pretty good.
yeah.
RJ Harvey.
Ashton Genty probably helped.
Yeah, you could.
Smidge.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, we will move on from fantasy.
Lame.
Russell Terry tweets in, why does Greg's fantasy football voice sound like the bald guy from Austin Powers?
Wait, who?
The bald guy from Austin Powers.
Which one is that?
I think the villain.
Oh, Dr. Evil?
Yeah.
No, that's not. I can't.
Wasn't what you were going for?
No.
Okay.
The bald guy on Austin Powers. I was trying to think of someone. I was trying to think of who he was talking about. That took me a second.
All right, we got Brian Haydad coming up at 8 o'clock. He will give us the latest on Mississippi State, going to camp there. Brett Ciancia at 8:20, Pick Six previews, get his thoughts just on the season in general. Wim Sanderson with us at 9. So we'll continue talking college football. We have not heard yet from Hugh Freeze or Kalen DeBoer. Both have now been on the practice field this week. We will do that when we come back. First, I'll tell you about our friends at Train. Steamy yesterday, especially after we got that little shower in the afternoon. Don't let that Alabama heat affect your family. Keep them comfortable with an affordable Train cooling system. They've been recognized as America's most trusted brand 11 consecutive years, and they're the official cooling partner here at Jox. Find a comfort specialist near you at Train.com. It's hard to stop a Train. You will hear from Kalen DeBoer after Alabama's first practice and Hugh Freeze next on Mac and Cube in the morning. All right, welcome back in. McElroy and Cubelic in the morning. We're going to try to do camp updates in the 8 o'clock hour every day leading up to the season. Brian Haydad at 8 talking Mississippi State. Jake Thompson, 8:40, talking Ole Miss today. Just updates from fall camp, what's happening, injury news, guys maybe moving up the depth charts, what the coaches are saying. We can't keep up with all of it, so we get the guys that are going to be on the beat that are covering even closer than us, and we'll let them tell you exactly what's happening where around the Southeastern Conference. But one thing that you also should keep up with is when the Jox kickoff party is going to be. You're going to be able to hang out with us and be able to talk some college football in person. Damian, how can they do it?
Yeah, they celebrate the kickoff to college football with us at the Bill Smith Buick GMC Jox kickoff party at Regions Field on Thursday, August 21st. And the only way to go is by winning tickets. To win a pair of tickets for you and the guests, text the keyword FREE and your full name to 205-834-9450. The keyword is FREE, and you text your full name to 205-834-9450. Winners are drawn and notified daily. For more information, visit joxfm.com.
We'll start with Kalen DeBoer in Alabama. Their first practice yesterday on the field. Quarterbacks, obviously, a big portion of this fall practice and how it's going to play out. His quarterback assessment after day one. Take us further into that mindset, Greg. He references them as gimmies. I think a lot of times you'll hear free grass, uncovered, check down. Those are all things I think would fall into that category. I usually reference high percentage throws because a lot of people say easy throws. I don't really think any throws easy because you got to make it. But there are throws that have a higher percentage of being completed and those that have a much lower percent. But take us a little bit further into sort of why you think this is important to Kalen DeBoer and what exactly he's looking for.
Well, I think a big part of it is you can't miss layups. And how many layups were missed over the last couple of years with Jalen? I mean, goodness gracious alive. I saw him one-hop throws behind the line of scrimmage. You know what I mean? So I think that's an area this year where you don't waste downs. Any down in which you gain yardage is a positive down. You don't go broke putting money in the bank. That's what Tom Moore used to always say. And I think that's imperative. And situationally, hey, when a shot play is called, hey, touchdowns, checkdowns, all the way, right? And those checkdowns should be automatic. If they cover it all up, take off. That's a gimme. You know what I mean? Just try to make every single play into a positive play and to be in really good shape. But I would expect the veteran guy to understand, hey, manage the game methodically, move it down the field. Shots there, take it. If not, dial it down a little bit and make sure you put an accurate pass on him so he can go and turn up field and potentially break a tackle and gain some extra yardage. So I think all that's really big and really huge.
You tell me if you agree, disagree here, and it's fine either way. Because this is kind of going a little bit more quarterback geared. That sounds to me like something that he believes is going to be a very serious deciding factor in who's going to be the backup. Not that the first team quarterback doesn't have to do that, but when you're deciding who's going to be second, who's going to be third, as you just kind of stated, like you have to know where to go with the football when things are breaking down. And if there's a back that's out of the backfield that's uncovered and there's pressure coming and it's 3rd and 4, like you got to know to get it to him now. Because as Kalen said, that keeps the drive alive, that potentially flips the field, and that can probably get us points when you think about the amount of times that potentially happens in a game over a season.
No doubt.
And younger guys don't always know those things. So it sounds to me the emphasis there, again, not saying that if Ty Simpson's a starter, he doesn't need to do those things. but something critical for a younger guy who, if you're going to be the backup, man, like you said, layups. You got to hit your layups first.
100%. And that's the ticket. I mean, because the backup naturally is always going to be inclined to want to take shots. I want to throw it downfield.
Prove themselves.
Like, yes. Hey, it's my now I get my chance. Let me go show coach. Like, as a backup that threw it downfield against Auburn up 29-0, I can't say I wouldn't have done the exact same dang thing.
Here we go.
I'm saying you only get so many opportunities to like go in and prove yourself. And guess what? If the backup, whoever the backup is, going to be in prime position to challenge next year for the starter, assuming they progress the way that this group might likely progress. So I think it's really, really important to be really smart as a backup. And I always took what Major Applewhite told me. And while Major only had 1 year as the OC, it was my redshirt freshman year. It was very, very impactful. Answer me this, Cole. 1st and 10, 25-yard line. We just had touchback, first play of the drive. We handed off up the middle, gained 5 yards. Now it's 2nd and 5. What's the reaction from the crowd?
You're saying the offense is at home?
Yeah.
And you pick up the first down?
No. You gain 5 yards. Now 2nd and 5. Second play of the game. It's 2nd and 5. You just gained 5 yards on the ground. First play of the game.
Feeling pretty good about it.
Do you think the crowd will give you a dang standing ovation?
I would love it.
Look at that run game.
Here we go.
Whoa! Take that. Get some.
About to dominate.
All right.
Set the tone, boys.
That's right. Get some. All right.
That's when all the guys look over to their wife. That's how you set the tone, honey.
All right. So, all right. As a 5-yard gain on 1st and 10, my hand to the running back right at the middle. Cool. Now let me paint you a picture. Play action. Deep balls. You can hear the crowd.
They all stand up.
Oh, they stayed over the top. Safeties were too deep. I can't take it. You know what? I'm going to throw it to my back right over the ball and little over the ball route. OTB, no problem. Throw it to my running back. Same guy that just carried it for 5 yards in our hypothetical situation. Throw it to the running back, check down, gains 5 yards, gets tackled right there. Doesn't turn and run. Just gets tackled right there. What's the reaction from the crowd? Boo! Boo! Our quarterback, throw deep!
Just run the ball. Deep. Just run it.
Our quarterback's soft.
Hand it off.
He had a chance. If he's covered, he's open.
We already done set the tone.
Literally same result, same ball carrier.
Every fan's a redneck, by the way, at our games.
Every coach, everybody. I love when we've done like Michigan State voice, and it's like, I told him that Johnny's needs a chance. But same ball carrier, same player, same result of the play.
Let's go to the Tide Pride Suite. Run the ball, man!
Same exact play. Same exact result. You have 2nd and 5. 5-yard gain on the ground right at the middle, standing ovation. Check down Charlie, 5-yard gain right at the middle.
Check down Charlie.
The fans are mad. And yet it's the same result. Like all the rep equity, all the yardage equity goes in the same account. I don't look at pass yards versus rush yards. I don't care. All I care about is, are we efficient? If we're averaging 5.5, 6, 6.5, 7 yards per play, we're doing what we need to do. If we run up the middle, great. But if the goal is to average 10 yards an attempt, that's awesome. 9 yards an attempt, whatever it is. And you're going to have those attempts downfield and you're going to have some chunk yardage. But guess what? If it's not there, taking that layup for a 5-yard gain is not a bad result, because if we had run it and gained 5 yards, everyone would have said, see, our run game's best.
That's it.
It's amazing the reaction.
Let's stay with quarterbacks. Kalen DeBoer on dividing those reps between his quarterbacks day one. So what's the mindset, Greg? Because we always hear about this. We always talk about it with splitting reps from a quarterback. Now, I know what you probably think about it from a coaching perspective and how you would do it. But from a player who has been a backup and a player who has been a starter, how is it viewed as a quarterback in that position of we're going to split second, third team reps, or second team's going to get a quarter of the first team reps, or when do you think you need to get to these are all the ones, these are all the twos, threes, you're going to probably be with scout team some, and then you'll be with us some. Like, how do you view it when you're actually going through it?
After the second scrimmage is when you would probably solidify who's goes where. You might have some guys rolling in, but the way we always did it, it would be 10. It would be racks of 10. The threes and fours were on one field. The ones and twos were on another. And then early in camp, it was ones on one field, twos on the other field, threes with the ones, fours with the twos. And they would run the exact same plays. So the ones would get 6 reps, the threes would get 4 reps. The twos would get 6 reps, the fours would get 4 reps. So that the ones and twos are getting the same amount of reps and the threes and fours are getting the same amount of reps. That's the way we really did it throughout the course of, a long, long time. And you had half the coaches on the offensive field, half the coaches on the defensive field. We called the twos and fours field the defensive field because it became the defensive field once we got into season. But it was, it really worked out great. I don't know if that's how they're doing it right now.
Sure.
But all you had to do is just plug a certain guy. Hey, Ty, you're going to take this first rack of 6. Then you're going to go over to the 2 field. And you're going to get the second rack of 6 at the 2 field. And then, hey, Keelan, you're already at the 3 field. You'll take the first 2. You'll get the first 3 reps of the ones here, or whatever. And then we'll put in Austin for the second 3 reps of the ones. The challenging thing is, like, I remember going in there and being mad. I'd get like 3 reps and 2 of them be runs and be like, what the heck?
Right.
You know what I mean? So you got to be smart about how you script it. But it's not.
Did you have that mindset as a starter, though?
No. We got to do it.
Yeah, you never care. But like you said, younger guy always trying to prove themselves.
Yeah.
You get a toss sweep and a handoff, and then you get to throw a screen. You're like, what are we doing? I thought you wanted to see if I could be the number 2 guy. Yeah. Come on.
It was a little frustrating, but I'll say this: like, I never split reps. Like, even in our quarterback competition, I got the 1 reps from day 1 of spring all the way through the rest of my career. Never, not one time, did I split reps. So I really don't know how it would impact you if you are the supposed guy. I really don't know. I can't speak to that, but I do think that it is hard as a backup. When you are competing to become the backup, when I really had competition, that was when I felt like you had to kind of force the issue from time to time. And I would imagine that's what the backup guys are doing now, because at some point here, probably after the first scrimmage, that number 3 guy, whoever it is, go rep it out with the defense.
Right.
Like, you're no longer involved. We're down to 2.
Okay.
So I think now is when it's all systems go to make sure you are at least the 2 going into the second scrimmage.
All right, we'll hear more from Kalen DeBoer on his quarterbacks, the rest of the team. Hear from Hugh Freeze later this hour. All next right here on Mac and Cube in the morning. Live tackle football on your television tonight. Don't forget. Doesn't have to be Hell's Kitchen reruns, MASH reruns. Doesn't have to be Bachelorette on TiVo. You don't need the VHS of Family Ties. Live tackle football on your television tonight. It's here. We made it. We made it. We're here. You can also make it out of your home to another home with all your furniture, Greg, thanks to Crocker Moving Services.
They're a local company owned by an Iraq War veteran, Eric Crocker. Crocker believes in hiring movers you can trust to complete full background checks and run drug tests on every single employee. I've used them in my home. They were fantastic, professional. Cole's used them in his home. Fantastic, professional. You guys, when you use them at your home, I promise you'll be satisfied with the experience that you have. Doesn't matter what you're looking for. They can get you taken care of. Moving stuff around the kitchen, fine. Moving something from Seattle to Miami, fine. They can get you taken care of. So go and check them out at CrockerMovingServices.com. That's CrockerMovingServices.com. Support your veterans by choosing Crocker Moving Services for your next move.
Okay, sticking with Kalen DeBoer, more on quarterbacks yesterday, discussing the pressures that come with that competition. Can we stop this for 1 second? Is the microphone in his mouth? Did somebody put the microphone
it's on a mauler
in his mouth as he's speaking?
It does sound really, really close.
I'm not sure.
Okay. Continue, please. So there you go. You look at the fact of making the right decisions, doing the right things, going the right place with the ball, not hurting your offense, putting your team in a bad spot. All of that falling into really seems like the core of Kalen DeBoer's messaging around that quarterback competition day one, Greg.
Well, I think they know they're going to be good on defense. They know they're going to be great at wide receiver. So you get some catch and run situations, you're in good shape. I think they know the offensive line's going to be pretty good. I think they're going to be able to run the ball. And I think Kalen DeBoer recognizes last year that you can lose games as quickly as you can win them if your quarterback is careless with the football or if you're making mistakes. So I think it's going to be important, I think, for those guys to earn the team's trust by not putting the team in difficult spots and then in time showcase the playmaking ability. Like that to me is paramount. You literally look at it, man. Bama's roster is pretty dialed in on the starting 22. That starting 22, as you're really going through the top 10, top 20, top 25 teams, that starting 22 can kind of go with almost everybody. You know what I mean? I mean, you might say Penn State's got a slight edge. You might say Clemson has a few more known commodities, but that starting 22 can go. So you just don't want to beat yourself. I think that's huge in a game like this because Tennessee, you throw a pick in the end zone, you lose the game by one score.
Yep.
Vanderbilt, you have 2 turnovers, one for the pick 6, 1 sack fumble, lose the game, out, done. Even though the defense laid an egg that day. That was, 2 turnovers, that was it. And then you don't show up in the Oklahoma game, you lose. You know, I think it's the margins are too thin. You just cannot put yourself in harm's way.
Absolutely. Okay. Kalen DeBoer also, you mentioned that starting 22 kind of solidified. One person, if that defense is going to be good, is going to be great, is going to be elite, that's going to have to be there and be ready is Deontay Lawson. An update on his status yesterday from head coach Kalen DeBoer. So Deontay Lawson, a guy that obviously dealing with some injuries from last year and needs to be there, Greg. If this defense is going to be what we think it can be, what people think it can be, he's going to be the cornerstone of it.
Yeah, and he doesn't need the reps. I'm not worried about him. Like, you know what I mean? Like, just get him to week 1 and he'll be good to go. So it won't be a problem at all. So if he needs to take a little more time, by all means, take as much as you need to make sure that week 1 you're rolling.
All right, so that's an update from Alabama camp. We'll have a few more of those, but we'll hear from Hugh Freeze on Auburn's first day of practice next on Mac and Cube in the morning. Welcome back in. McElroy and Cubelic in the morning. Appreciate you being in. Watch live on YouTube each and every day. Search Jox945, JoxFM.com. Tell your home smart speaker to enable the Jox skill. A lot of different ways that you can listen, including the Jox app that directs you to the podcast for any interviews that you missed, directs you to the YouTube every day, or you can just listen live right there on the Jox app. Running backs, also a question for Alabama before we move to Hugh Freeze and Auburn. Kalen DeBoer discussing that position and its depth after day one. like the kid, Greg. I like Dre Washington. You and I talked about his speed, and he initially, when he gets the football, doesn't look like he's just a speed guy, a fast guy. I mean, he's the north-south runner, great after contact, but then you see him a couple of plays later or a couple of games later get into the open field, and not a lot of guys pull him down from behind. And I just think there's not near enough buzz about what he might be able to be in this Alabama offense this year.
Yeah, I mean, you were high on him the second they took him. Took me a second to kind of talk me into him. I wasn't sure exactly what the deal was.
Well, if you hate him, hate him. Just say
I don't
it.
hate him at all. I went back and watched it, and I see what you see. Like, he runs hard. He finishes runs. Like, it's kind of as simple as that. The guy finishes runs. Like, some guys dance, some guys try to break it to the outside or whatever. Like, this guy would lower shoulder. I think there's something to appreciate about that as a bit of a tone setter. So, this can be an offense. Like, remember what they had at Washington with Dylan Johnson, right? Like, I mean, that guy didn't care
at all.
He just took names. And I think there's a lot to like about having three backs that I think Jam has a chance to be a game breaker. Like, I think Jam's really good. We've thought that for years.
Yes.
So I'm a big believer in what Jam Miller can do. But the next three guys are all, you're going to feel it when they run. Like, Hill, Richard Young, and Dre are all going to get downhill, and they are going to hurt you in the way they finish. So I think there's a lot to like about that, personally.
I don't think there's any doubt when you look at what those guys might be.
They clearly have
a
type, by the way. The staff has a type.
Yes. And like you said, you go back to the Washington days. How about Ronnie Rivers at Fresno?
Oh, gosh.
Hammer.
Oh, loved that guy.
And
think about the guys they had think about the guy that DeBoer had at Indiana. I don't remember his name, but golly, that guy ran hard. And he had some 2019 Indiana running back. Gosh, he ran hard too. Stevie Scott. Golly, he was a beast. Only had 800. Gosh, they also had a couple other guys. Ronnie Walker, I don't remember him as much, but Stevie Scott ran hard. So yeah, I think they have a type, and I think there's a good spot to be in this league with some tone setting backs. If you guys have guys that could just mow some people over for 2, 3, 4, 5 yard gains.
Let's finish with Kalen DeBoer, a position that we asked him about at media days. Tight end. One of the concerns I would have about this team going into this season. Kalen's thoughts after first day of practice. So there's Kalen DeBoer after the first day of practice there in Tuscaloosa. A lot more to get to. We'll get to Auburn a little bit later in the show. Brian Haydad updates us on Mississippi State next. First, Craig, tell our listeners about Shannara Flooring.
Well, Shannara Flooring is terrific, and Fu and his guys have been handling flooring in the community for a very long time, and they are built their entire company around trust and integrity. And right now, you can go get that Core-Tech flooring by Shaw. It's in stock and get it $10 off per box if you order it from Fu and his guys at Shannara Flooring. $10 off per box. The savings can really add up. They'll give you 12 months financing as well. So if you're thinking about upgrading your floors, go with Shannara Flooring and go and check out what they have right now at fuandyou.com.
All right, when we come back, we'll hear from Brian Haydad. He'll join the show, update us on Mississippi State. Jake Thompson next hour as well to update us on Ole Miss. And you hear from Hugh Freeze. All that and more next on Jox. All right, welcome back in. McElroy and Cubelic in the morning. 8 o'clock hour now until the season begins. Going to try to pile that up with updates around fall camps. Who's doing what? Who's ending up where? Maybe some of the injury updates, roster updates. So Brian Haydad covers Mississippi State, does it better than anybody, is with us now on the Higginbotham Hotline. What is the big news with Mississippi State here so far in the fall? Look it up towards the season. We talked to Lebby at Media Days. I know you did as well. You were there. Anything that surprised you? Anything that's sort of newsworthy, noteworthy right out of the gate?
Before we do that, we got to stop with this fall camp nonsense. It's 100 degrees outside. It is not fall, Cole. It is preseason camp. Please join me in my crusade.
I think it's 1,000 degrees outside.
I'm fine with you.
I don't think it's 100.
Right.
I'll take the over on 100.
But I have called it fall camp literally forever, so it's going to be tough.
You're trying to break people with that habit.
Well, we just talked about it earlier. I'm not going to call Twitter X. So I mean, there's some things that are going to be hard.
I get it. I'm here for you. So
thank you.
I think that the biggest thing for State this year is if you go back a year ago and look at their depth chart, there were a lot of guys that had no business playing SEC football on it. A lot, both sides of the ball. This year, I don't know if they have the stars that you need to be really successful in the SEC, but they at least have a two deep full of guys who can play in this league. They're just going to be better almost by default. Now, does that mean they're going to win enough games to go to a bowl game? Are they going to win enough games that Mississippi State fans are confident in Jeff Lebby? I don't know the answer to that. But I do know that the team this year, and even if you go back last year, I feel like, when you say that a team, they didn't give up, well, that is the absolute bare minimum I'll expect from a team. I don't expect anybody to give up. I expect you to go out there and play. But that team, even in a 2-10 year, I felt like they gave great effort throughout the season. If the effort can match what they gave last year and the talent is a little bit better, this is going to be an improved football team. It's just a question of how much better they can be on this incredibly difficult schedule.
Schedule's a beast, no doubt about it. Every single team they play will be a handful, including Southern Miss. I think Southern Miss could be a lot better, including Arizona State. I mean, it's a beast of a schedule, no denying that. Where do you think they can make the fastest improvement?
On the defensive line, I think. Last year's defensive line was abysmal. I mean, we were talking about the linebackers on my podcast yesterday, and I can't tell you how many times where a running back, the first defender they would encounter was a linebacker. The defensive line was just not SEC caliber at all. They went out in the transfer portal and brought in a bunch of guys, some guys who have played a lot of Power 5 football and a lot of guys who they haven't played much, but, for their recruiting profile was high, and then they're hopeful that this can be their breakthrough at Mississippi State. But I expect them, I think they only had 10 sacks as a team last year. I mean, you got players with 10 sacks. They'll be much better rushing the passer, I think, this year. They'll be more competent in stopping the run. Again, they don't have a Jeff Simmons or a Chris Jones kind of guy in there, but they will be better on that defensive line.
We're visiting with Brian Haydad, covers the Mississippi State Bulldogs. They hit the practice field today. What do you want to try to learn from the team, Lebby, staff, anything today? Like, what's a question that you realistically think you can get answered today?
Lebby likes to talk about retention a lot, talking about, how much did we keep from the spring into this first practice. So I'll be interested to see how he feels about that, especially when you're talking about a team with so many new faces on it. They got, a month worth of spring practice. How much of that do they still retain? I'll be interested to see, what his receiver rotation is, how much of that he'll give up, because you're replacing that whole room basically with a bunch of guys who I think have some talent, but the production is not there yet. The good news is in Jeff Lebby's offense, the production will come. The wide receiver position is one that thrives here. We've talked about it a lot, that somebody on this roster is going to catch 70 passes this year because somebody on Jeff Lebby's team catches 70 passes every year. I don't know who it's going to be yet. If you made me guess right now, I'd say Anthony Evans, the transfer from Georgia, but it could be anybody. Beyond that, it's just about, do you feel better each day of fall camp? I said it now, see? Do you feel better it is tough. Do you feel better today on day one of this camp than you felt on day one of last year? And going forward, how much better do you feel each day of camp? Because I think Lebby was kind of honest with us last year about where the talent was. This year, he seems to be a lot more, I don't know if excited's the right word, but he seems a lot more confident in his group than he was a season ago. So I just want to know, compare it to last year, how do you feel about where you are right now?
Looking at where you're at in the back seven defensively, you referenced rushing the passer a little better. They gave up a ton of explosives last year. It was kind of wild to watch. Can that be shored up and just stop giving up huge plays on a week-in, week-out basis?
I think that State improved in three areas on the defense. I think they're better on the defensive line, they're better at linebacker, and I think they're better at safety. But cornerback is a huge issue. They didn't have a lot of success there in the transfer portal. They didn't bring back their best corner, Bryce Pollock. He transferred to Texas Tech. The top guy they brought in is the guy from an NAIA school who physically, he looks like a SEC football player, but I have no idea how big the leap is from NAIA to the SEC. You're putting a lot on his shoulders. That room is the one where I look at him and go, you don't have enough SEC caliber talent in it to be truly successful. So State's going to have to be better rushing the passer and doing other things, and hope their safeties can cover up some mistakes, because I expect that cornerback group to struggle.
Brian Haydad joining us on the Higginbotham Hotline, discussing Mississippi State's preseason camp that begins today. Is it the same as it was a year ago, that if Blake Chapin's healthy, they got a pretty good chance? If he's not, we probably get what we got last year.
I think that the second quarterback, Luke Krummenhoek, at least has some more experience and I think was a higher rated prospect than Michael Van Buren was. I thought Van Buren played okay to be a true freshman, thrown into the fire on a not good football team. But you're right. If Chapin is healthy in this offense, quarterbacks are productive. So when you look at State's overall passing numbers last year, they're surprisingly okay. I think the touchdown to interception is something like 20 to 8 or something like that. They threw as a team for almost 2,800 yards. The difference is that Chapin was completing about 68% of his passes when he got hurt, and Van Buren completed about 54%. If you can get Chapin in there and he's completing, 62, 63% of his passes in this offense, I think he can have a very productive season. But as you said, with Chapin, if he stays healthy, might as well be his last name at this point, because it's tough to predict a guy who's never played a full season to just go ahead and play one in his final year.
We've seen it happen before, though, and here's hoping it can happen again. What about the run game in general? They bring in Fluff Bothwell. They bring in some other guys along the offensive line. Are we optimistic that this can be a relatively balanced group?
Yeah, I think the running back room is the best one on campus by far. Devon Booth, I think, is the third leading returning rusher in the conference, was really strong. They got off to a slow start, but had a great finish to the season. You mentioned Fluff Bothwell, who was one of the top-rated transfer backs. And then you bring back a guy like Johnny Daniels, who rushed for over 500 yards as well. You've got a couple of exciting young players in there. That group, to me, is the best one on campus. You mentioned the offensive line. I don't know that any team in the country was more successful in the second portal window, the post-spring practice portal window than Mississippi State. They went out and got 2 or 3 offensive linemen that they expect to start or at least contribute heavily. So Phil Lodeholt came in after the first signing day, and Levy was really honest, like brutally honest about that in spring practice. Like, we got to get better in that room, not good enough. And they went out and got some more players. So the downside of that, obviously, is they haven't practiced yet. Today will be their first practice because they missed spring. So if those guys, and they got big guys. I mean, we're talking 6'5", 340, 350. Lodeholt wants some road graders in that room. Early in the season with the non-conference schedule, you hope that helps you a lot. You should be playing teams that are much smaller. When you get into SEC play, we'll see. But I think State will be able to run the football this year. They have talented backs. I like the offensive line group that they have. Last year they got off to such a slow start running the football. I think against Arizona State they only rushed for 20 yards. It's a big reason you lost that game. I think they'll be better right off the jump this year.
Two starters going to be transfers there? Keenum, center, Steen at right tackle? Is that, or will there be more? Do you believe on the offensive line?
It's possible that Zach Owens, the transfer from Colorado, could be a starter as well. Let's go by his nickname. What a great nickname, Flapjack Owens. I mean, that's what I'm talking about.
Why not Flap Zach Owens?
that's now you're asking too much, Cole.
I just feel like I've never met a flapjack. That's what I would have gone with. Give me something original.
I mean, can flapjack be in the great tradition of Pig Prather and Pork Chop Womack for great nicknames here at Mississippi State? I don't know. That's probably your three guys there. Yeah, then Brennan Smith is another one who came in late. Could play a role at the center position. Will definitely be a depth guy this year for sure. And then you got a couple of freshmen there. I guess they're redshirt freshmen. I don't know I think Luke Work is a redshirt freshman, but they played a good bit last year. And Jimothy Lewis and Luke Work, I think those guys have high ceilings. I think both those guys can be good players for Mississippi State, and I expect them to be big pieces this year.
Does he like pancakes? I mean, or does he thought it was a cool nickname?
It's a great nickname.
I gotta have more information. The first chance I get to talk to him, Cole, I will text you and I will tell you the origin of the flapjack nickname.
I think the only information you need is he's 6'6", 375.
Yeah, he's a big guy.
Yeah, he could. I mean, at
that's all you need to know.
The Kiwanis Club, all you can eat pancake breakfast. He's a problem. So the inventory's low after he rolls through. I don't think there's any doubt about that. All right. Hey, Dad.
If you and I came in behind him, Cole, we would be sad at how few pancakes were left.
Most likely, yeah. I will say, all-you-can-eat pancakes, I have never put down as many as I thought I could. I think they take some kind of like filler and mix it in there, and it slows you down.
It's carbs.
It's unfortunate.
I think it's just
they
put
bread
Botox in it or
is the
something.
enemy.
I mean, it's just filler.
Botox?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's something just clogs
Did
your
you say
stomach up.
Botox?
He
Anything.
did.
I mean,
I
it's
don't
like
get
filler, right?
Oh, filler. I got okay. Yeah.
Oh my God. If I find out IHOP has been putting Botox in the pancakes, I'm gonna be really mad.
Nothing would surprise me anymore.
So the prices went up.
Yeah, that's how the prices went up.
All right, hey Dad, appreciate the time, man. Great stuff.
Yeah.
Hit me later if you want me to hop on. I'll find some time for you.
We'll do.
All right, man. Higginbotham Hotline is where Brian Haydad joins us. At Brian Haydad, follow him on Twitter. Covers Mississippi State. You brought up the big plays, Greg. It's got to be different, man. It just does. They were 118th in scoring defense last year, 123rd in third down defense, 130th in rush defense. Just 133rd in negative plays created on defense. So not only giving up those big plays, not finding plays in the backfield either. They were 80th in explosive run defense. So especially when you give up those big plays on the ground, it's demoralizing. It crushes you as a not only a defense but as a team when you see people just hand the ball off and it goes for 40, 60, 80 yards. Especially often, it's a problem.
It's brutal.
134th in completion percentage defensively. It's not great.
Not what you want.
They're a lot better.
No, I think they can't be worse.
No, can't.
But at the same time, when you're talking about a group to finish 126 overall total defense, a phenomenal year would be 75th. Like, you know what I mean? Like a 50 spot improvement would be incredible. 75th in the SEC is going to have you at 14th, 15th, 16th at best.
I will say this. I told Levy this at media days. You heard me ask him, what does it say about your staff and your players that are coming back? When you watched them late, they still got after it. They played hard. Now, they may have been running the complete opposite direction hard, but they were hustling and giving effort. And so, to me, that does say something about what they were able to get out of them, the staff, things of that nature. But it's just it can't be as bad, and you got to help your offense a little bit, specifically if Blake Shapen's not healthy. That's going to be a huge problem. He's got to be in the game. If he's in the game, I think they have a chance to be a little bit better. All right, so that's Mississippi State. We'll continue talking college football with the creator of Pick Six Previews next, right here on Mac and Cube in the morning. Welcome back in. McElroy and Cubelic in the morning, 8:17, Thursday, July 31st. Right here on Jox 94.5. Potential good news for Alabama today. Tate Jones is going to announce his commitment on the Pat McAfee show later today. Alabama, Texas A&M, or Oregon. Number one player in the state of Alabama. I'm going to give that a go. Give a prediction there.
Your crystal ball?
Yeah.
You got it?
No, I don't. I have no idea.
Come on.
It's got to be the Crimson Tide, right?
I don't know. I hope.
Can't let him out of the state.
I mean, there's some big checks. They're being written out west.
That's fair. All right, let's talk some more college football. Brett Ciancia of the Pick Six Previews magazine joining us now on the Higginbotham hotline. Blue Blood, something you discuss every year in your magazine, Brett, and it feels like the Blue Bloods may still be ahead of the pack a little bit, but that gap has really narrowed. And we've had a lot of conversations about Oregon and how they are treated like a blue blood the last couple of years. Like when you ask people national title contenders, I think it's interesting how people just lump Oregon in like they do Ohio State, Bama, Georgia, and a couple of others. Has the gap tremendously narrowed this year and made that a bigger field of potential national championship contenders in your mind?
Yeah, well, first off, thanks for having me on. It's an exciting time of year here with the Preview Magazine, and excited to break it down with you guys. Oregon has earned that level of trust because of how they performed on the recruiting trail. And you're looking at back-to-back top five classes. They do it from the high school ranks and the transfer ranks, too. And what I did, too, is I looked at it not just quantity, but on a per-player average. They were number one on average in the high school and transfer ranks both last year. So Dan Lanning bringing in a lot of great talent. I put this in the book, but they're my pick to win the national title in 2026. I think they're a year away. They're very young, but, they have a lot of talent. So I'd say the gap is kind of narrowing. You have so many contenders this year. I could go with 3 from the Big Ten with Penn State, Ohio State, Oregon. You could probably pick 8 from the SEC to contend for a national title. It's so deep of a conference. So, yeah, a lot of contenders to talk about.
Your number one team is Penn State. It's hard to push back on it. They have everything that you could possibly want. I don't think I can possibly take up the time to list everything I like about them. The one thing I'm concerned about is replacing Tyler Warren. They've backfilled the wide receiver spot after some turnover there. The offensive line should be good. Running back should be good. Aller, I would hope, would take a step in Kotelnicki's second year. But how the heck are they going to replace the productivity that Tyler Warren gave them last year?
Yeah, well, you're right. They're my pick to win the conference. They're going to have to rely on their transfer wide receivers, and this was one of their weaknesses last year. You saw it in the playoff loss to Notre Dame where not a single receiver had a catch. But they attacked this weakness hard in the transfer portal by taking starters off other teams. They got USC's number one guy, Kyron Hudson. They got a speedster from the Sun Belt, Devontae Ross. And then they pulled in All-ACC slot receiver Traver Pena from Syracuse. So it might shift a little bit of production from that tight end spot over to the receivers. They do still recruit well there. They have Khalil Dinkins there, a proven run blocker, and then 2 blue chippers to pick from at tight end with Luke Reynolds and Andrew Olesh. So they got names, but I really like every other part of this team, like you mentioned. The running backs, the coordinators are really what stood out to me. That's 2 of the best coordinators in the game. You have a second year from Kotelnicki. Then they go out and steal Jim Knowles, the mastermind behind that Ohio State team. So I see them following a similar trend to Michigan and Ohio State the last couple of years where most of their roster came back instead of going pro, and now you have a really veteran, talented team here.
Brett Ciancia, Pick Six Previews, joining us on the Higginbotham hotline. One of the narratives, though, with Penn State is can't get over the hump, can't win the big one. What do your numbers say about that? I mean, we can all sit here and say that we've seen, hadn't won big games, playoff game, whatever that is, but like statistically, are there things that stick out about reasons where they may be able to do that? And that narrative might be as real as a lot of people want it to be.
Yeah, a couple things with that. Their Ohio State problem, it's been a problem for a decade ever since Grant Haley blocked that field goal and took it back for a touchdown, and I think it was 2016, but it's been a problem for a long time. If you watch these games, they're close every time. They take them into the fourth quarter. They're competitive ball games. I know close doesn't count in college football, but it's a lot different than getting blown out 52-0. So they're close, I'll say that. But here's the thing. When Penn State has the talent advantage, when James Franklin is the favorite, I'll give you the last 3 years. They're number one in the country as the favorite against the spread, covering 72% of the time, but also straight up over the last 3 years as the favorite. They're number one in the country, 34-2. So I say that because I think they're going to be favored in almost every game this year, maybe save for the Ohio State road trip. That might flip to a Buckeye favorite spot. But when Franklin has the talent advantage, which I think he has almost every game this year, he's really good. I mean, he takes care of business and his players rally. So those are the numbers and the anecdotes around that. But I think they're in for a special season.
Looking at the SEC, you go Texas to win it. I'm not sure a lot of people are going to push back on that. Your predicted order of finish is pretty predictable. I think a lot of folks probably see it very similarly to you, but how'd you arrive at Texas as the winner and kind of your pecking order through the top four?
Yeah, well, with Texas, what stands out is back-to-back Final Four appearances. They were really close last year. They had that goal line situation to go try and tie it against Ohio State before Jack Sawyer blew it up and took it back for a touchdown. But Texas has been close. They have now stacked 5 straight top 5 high school recruiting classes. You'll notice they didn't do much in the transfer portal this year. That's because they didn't really need to. I think they feel really good about all their position groups. Maybe a slight question at offensive line. They're replacing a handful of starters there. But, I think this is a solid team, and they have all the numbers you'd look for. I do think the transition is interesting from Cam Ewers to Arch Manning. I think, you lose some experience and some veteran leadership, but you also pick up some gains in the short yardage and the goal line where Arch can get it done with his legs if he needs to. So, I think Texas is a little bit of a chalk pick there. Everyone's kind of got them, but where I differ is I have Alabama playing Texas in Atlanta. A lot of people go Georgia there, but I really like what Alabama has this year. And, you look at future mock NFL draft picks, they're number one in the country, Alabama. They have 15 projected for next year's draft. You watch a draft, you usually see 10, 12 guys get picked. Not so much last year. I think that's because they're all back in Tuscaloosa, especially on defense.
All right, so give us maybe what a concern would be for Alabama that you have. We know some of tight end, new quarterback, things of that nature. What do you look at from how you put your preseason picks together with the Crimson Tide that has to be overcome that might be concerning to you as of today?
Yeah, well, I guess quarterback. Not for lack of good options. There's 3 really competent players there, some former 5-stars and blue chippers. But still, if you're in the preview magazine business, you don't like question marks on a roster. And right now, it's still an unsettled spot. I think Ty Simpson will emerge, and that's kind of where the hints have been. But still, until you see it live, until you see it on Saturdays in the fall, it is still a slight question. I'll also say a coordinator change. It's like a pro and a con because, I really like the hire of bringing Ryan Grubb in. He was excellent with DeBoer everywhere they've been together, especially Washington, taking them to the national title a couple years ago. But so while I love the hire, it's still somewhat of a question, a scheme install, how's it going to click on game days, that kind of thing. So maybe just the quarterback spot and overall offense overhaul. So that's what I'd go with as the questions. But defensively, you got to love all these position groups. I mean, they're stacked, landed a lot of guys on my all-SEC team. So I'm excited to see some gains there in their second year on that side of the ball.
Looking at the question mark for Alabama, you referenced the quarterback and Ty Simpson, but I also look at some of the other teams that would be in contention. Like right now, I look at it. You have Georgia. Gunnar Stockton has played, but sparingly. Oklahoma, John Mateer is amazing, but he hasn't started at Oklahoma. Ole Miss, new starter. Auburn, new starter, albeit with experience. Tennessee with new starters. So in your top 10, most of the teams that you're kind of measuring them up against, including Texas, all have a new starter. So how much are you factoring in quarterback experience at that place when putting in together your top 10 in the SEC?
Yeah, well, you're right about that. It's a big transition year at the quarterback spot. So much potential, though. I mean, I really like a lot of these quarterbacks' potential. But that's why I didn't hold back Alabama. That's why I didn't punish Alabama for that uncertainty. I mean, they have a question at quarterback maybe, but so does almost half the league. So out there other 21 positions, I really like Alabama's strength and what they've proven. So that's why I've got them all the way up there. You're right, though. You got Stockton. We only saw him for one game at Georgia. It was he led a great comeback against Texas to win that game, and then we saw him in the playoff against the number 1 passing defense. So really small sample size. I think he's going to grow a lot in the second year. Also a guy no one's talking about, Marcel Reed, a dual threat guy at A&M, and want to see him in his second season.
really a sleeper team no one's talking about, but favorable schedule, strong offensive line. I'd like to hear what Cole thinks about that offensive line, and always appreciate your insights on the line play. But I think that, you got new guys everywhere. DJ Lagway, we didn't even get to him. That's how deep this conference is. I didn't even get to DJ Lagway. When he's on the field, they were a top 10 offense for me. When he was off the field, bottom 10. So that plus minus was shocking. You hope that fall camp injury rumor is just a rumor, because that would really stink.
No, there has been no shortage of conversations on this show about what Marcel Reed may be, may not be, because we're kind of on different sides of it here. And I love their offensive line. I think it's going to be one of the better in the Southeastern Conference, maybe one of the better in college football. But it actually brings up a question that I wanted to ask you, because Brett, Brett Ciancia with Pick Six Previews joining us on the Higginbotham Hotline. Your data comes a lot from numbers, statistics, things that you put together. Greg and I kind of go back and forth sometimes on the importance of offensive line, what it means, what it is. Can you overcome it? What have been some trends with that position, specifically with the portal? We see these guys being added. We were just talking to Brian Haydad about Mississippi State. I got a couple new guys, but they came in late. They hadn't practiced together. That's a big part of it. What do your numbers tell you about offensive lines in today's football, predicting winners and how it plays out?
Yeah, I think that it's definitely important. It's huge, actually. I think one of the building blocks of a whole season is really the offensive line. You can't really win without it. Let's put it that way. If you have breakdowns on the offensive line, if you got injuries, if you have guys transferring out, you can't really overcome that. You can overcome some other weaknesses on a roster, but you're not going to break through and win a title without an offensive line. So a couple things I'd look at is the recruiting rankings. I know that they might miss on a player here and there, but over the course of 5 linemen and 4 classes of them, you got like 20 linemen in the program. I think it's a pretty good indicator, on a big scale like that. So I look at the recruiting ranks, but also the returning production, the amount of snaps together, the cohesiveness of the unit, because that is hard. You can't really forecast that when you bring in a bunch of new starters and new faces. It's hard to predict how they're all going to gel together. So that's huge. So when you look at, you just mentioned A&M, that's one of the rare cases where you have all 5 starters back. And these aren't just average players. These are future pro guys, all SEC guys. So when you have that combination, that's why I'm really high on A&M. I think they're going to be a great offense behind that. So, yeah, I mean, long-winded answer there, but it's recruiting rankings, it's returning production, the amount of starts and snaps together. And then, of course, my numbers I have in the book, too. I mean, the pass protection is self-explanatory. Offensive line run push I have in there, too. And just to try and get some numbers on it, but this is a position that's deeper than numbers. It's personnel, it's experience together, it's scheme, it's all that stuff.
Finally, I do want to ask you about Clemson. I know it's a bit of a hard right turn, but I know you're high on them. Everyone's high on them, understandably so. If they don't win the national championship this year, they don't make a deep playoff run, what does that say about what Clemson might do in the future and their place at kind of the top of college football?
Yeah, well, I think Clemson is the far and away the favorite to win the ACC this year. They won it last year, and that was supposed to be the transition year. Now you get pretty much the whole roster back. I really like Cade Klubnik. He's evolved as a quarterback. You saw him grow throughout the season last year, had that big game-winning run against Pitt. Really played well against Texas despite the loss. I thought that whole passing attack stepped up in that game. You get everybody back. So, I like them. They're very veteran this year. My question, though, is if you throw them in the SEC, I don't know where they fall. I mean, are they 4th? Are they 5th? So I think it's a matter of being in a weaker conference, the ACC is this year, where really you only have Miami as the only challenger. So I don't know how they're going to fare in a national bracket where you got to win 4 of these big games. I just don't see it. So while they are my definite pick to win the ACC, I don't see them making a national title run. You got to have more depth than just I think those bigger programs will continue to win.
Brett, we appreciate the time. Before we let you go, though, I have to ask you about Auburn. Just your thoughts. This is a team that we've sort of lumped in the middle of the Southeastern Conference that could hit a ceiling of 9-10 wins, could hit a floor of 5-6 wins. We feel like there's a lot of those teams in the league this year. Where are you on the Auburn Tigers?
Yeah, I'm pretty optimistic here on Auburn. And first, when I look back on 2024, I think they left a lot of wins on the field. I think they were better than their record showed. My advanced stats say so. They have my stats have them top 20 offense and top 20 defense last year. I think stuff like nation worst field goal kicking, that doesn't tend to repeat every year. So I think you're going to get better play there. They blew a couple late leads. So all that stuff tends to reverse year over year. I love the receiver room. I think they're my number 2 unit in the whole country at receiver. You get Jackson Arnold, a 5-star quarterback in his second season. I know it's a new location, but I think he'll be more experienced there. And the defense had some young guys that stepped up last year that made the all-true freshman team, now back in their second season. So long story short, I'm pretty high on Auburn. I've got them 20th in the country. I don't think anybody else has them ranked, but I've got them 20th. And it's such a deep conference, but, upper middle tier for Auburn.
There you go. Brett, great stuff. Thanks for the time today. Really appreciate it. Look forward to catch up with you again soon.
Thanks, guys. Anytime. Appreciate it.
All right, there you go. Brett Ciancia, Pick Six Previews. One of the best college football preseason magazines that's out there. Just so much detail, so many numbers. It's absolutely fantastic to just look at, go through. And appreciate Brett taking some time to join us. I want to follow up on a couple of things that he said. We'll continue talking Auburn. We'll hear from Hugh Freeze. On the other side, also, Jake Thompson on where Ole Miss is a little bit later this hour. A lot more college football coming your way next on Jox. .37 Thursday, July 31st, right here on Jox 94.5. Our camp preview segment continues today. Clemson opening up today. Miami opens up today. Already some footage of Carson Beck throwing down there. Corin Gables making the rounds. We mentioned Mississippi State. Purdue, Barry Odom gets underway today also. So a lot more teams get going on the practice field today. Tomorrow you'll get Arkansas, you get Illinois, a couple of others. Saturday, Kentucky going to begin. So it won't be long before every team is on the practice field beginning camp. You can keep up with it, listen to it right here on Jox, joxfm.com. The app is in your app store, search WJOX. You can go use that to steer you to YouTube and watch us there. Just search Jox945 on YouTube. Watch us live every day. Go watch the show back also. A lot of ways that you can tune in here on Jox.
Bill Buick GMC is the GMC Dealer of the Year, the national champs of GMC dealers. They won 5 years in a row. I'm going to get my car serviced up there today. Really appreciate the service, the level of care that they have for your vehicle when they have it in the shop, getting it ready to roll, making sure everything's all good. I've been a multiple-time user. I've been a multiple-time buyer from Bill Smith Buick GMC. Bought 3 vehicles from them. I've had a great experience every single time. 75% of their business repeat customers because the deals you get at Bill Smith are on the next level. There's a reason why they could take $14,000 off a GMC Sierra 1500 SLT. It's because they sell so many, they don't need to mark it up. They make enough money so they give you the best possible deals, and they can absolutely pass those savings on to you. They also could take $5,000 off a Encore GX from Buick. Nice, sporty, economical SUV. So highly recommend taking the short drive to Coleman, I-65 exit 310, Highway 31 in Coleman. You can also shop online, have it delivered right to your driveway at BillSmithBuickGMC.com.
All right, we'll get going on Ole Miss as the Rebs obviously going to replace a lot at quarterback. They were on the practice field yesterday. We'll discuss them with Jake Thompson after our next break. Anything that Brett Ciancia gave you from Pick Six previews that surprised you? You sat back and kind of said, "Oh, okay, that's interesting." Not sure I saw it that way.
No, I mean I buy the mag, so I feel pretty good about everything he was going to say, having read what he said already. But at the same time, I think he does a really good job. I mean, he's got some next level stats I don't really necessarily always know how to use and apply, but he's been very accurate with his projections in the past, and it's kind of interesting. He, like many others now, are starting to really get hot on Alabama. That's kind of been the big takeaway for me over the last 3 or 4 weeks. Bama went from being, third, fourth in the SEC in many people's eyes. Now, not only are they being picked to be in the SEC championship game by many, some think they're a legitimate national championship contender. So I think a lot's changed as far as how Bama's perceived these last few weeks.
All right, so, and listen, I've got mine right here on the desk, Pick Six previews. There's a lot of value in that magazine when you go out there and get it. A lot of extra value that it can bring you getting ready for the season. Just like our friend and wealth advisor, Tad Hill, your trusted retirement planning partner. Tad adds value. He's the co-host of the Retire with Freedom radio and TV shows in Birmingham and Huntsville, also designated by Forbes as the #1 financial securities professional in the state of Alabama, multiple years running. Tad, what do you have for us today? All right, welcome back in. McElroy and Cubelic in the morning. We have been taking you around SEC camps here in the 8 o'clock hour. We're going to try to do that every day leading up to week 1 or week 0 of the Southeastern Conference / college football season. We'll go to Oxford, Mississippi now, get caught up on Ole Miss, who took to the practice field yesterday. Jake Thompson covers Ole Miss. He's with us now on the Higginbotham hotline. Most questions are going to revolve around quarterback. Mine would be in front of the quarterback. Jake, what are the early thoughts of how that Ole Miss offensive line may look this year?
You know, I think it's the first time they've entered the fall camp in the last few years, at least who we expect to be the starting 5, to be healthy and in the position they're supposed to be in terms of no injuries of called shuffling yet. You know, I like that they brought back Jaden Williams and Diego Pounds, a little bit of consistency. Bryson Sanders, who's in his 3rd year but kind of been waiting his turn at center, is somebody that I feel like will help kind of cement the middle part of that group. Then you got some newcomers and Percy Lewis and PJ Wilkins and others that, you know, we'll wait to see what their roles might be. You know, Lane doesn't like depth charts, so we haven't really gotten one, especially it's only been a couple days. But, you know, I feel better about that group heading into this year than I have in the past few years. But, you know, time will tell, and you don't know until you're out there playing against somebody else. And I feel like we won't know that answer truly until they line up against Kentucky in week 2.
I'm going to go the other side of the ball along the defensive line. Everyone wants to talk about Walter Nolan. He was great, but they lost a couple edge defenders that I thought were really, really solid. Can this defensive line be anywhere near as close to what they were last year, given the pieces that are back?
Yeah, you know, I think that's a fair question, and putting an expectation on this group as what was on last year's group is, I think, going to be very unfair to them, because I just don't see, you know, until they make plays or get out there, that this is a group that's going to be just lights out and one of the nation's top defensive lines. I feel they will be good. They've got returners, but they're young guys. William Eccles is one, Cam Franklin. You know, that they're a little bit young, but they've had experience, gotten experience. And in terms of replacing guys on the edge, they got Deshaun Womack at LSU. And then there's once again another Uman Mielen and Prince Will transferring in from Nebraska, who I spoke with him the other day during our local media day. And, you know, he's optimistic, talks just like his brother, acts just like his brother. But, you know, that's a group that I need to see more from to say that they can at least even come close to replicating the production that group did last year.
Is there any more thought that there'll be consistency with the running back position this year? Last year it was stockpile as many as we can through the portal, then see how it's going to play out, and then it didn't play out the way that a lot of people thought it should during the season. What does it look like right now? I mean, I think a lot of folks would love to see Logan Diggs just be a hammer for that group and be able to help the run game, but what does it look like top to bottom right now?
Yeah, no, I think right now it's Logan Diggs, a healthy Logan Diggs who hasn't been healthy in a long time. You know, he got that one carry in the Gator Bowl, and that was about it after missing all of last year. And then you got Kwan Lacey, the transfer from Missouri, who Ole Miss nearly landed out of high school, but at the last minute kind of switched to the Tigers. But after a year in Columbia, he's now here in Oxford. I think that's your 1-2. How that shakes out as who's the starter, I don't know, but I think those two will get equal carries to start out till maybe one forces the issue. But I like that combo. And Dominic Thomas, who's not really a major player or hasn't been, but has made good runs last year when asked to, I think is going to be a good guy in that group. And then who I'm excited about to see is how fast will they think they need to kind of rush the development of true freshman Shakai Mills-Knight, who is a highly touted running back that they got out of the signing class this past year. And he didn't come in the spring, but he showed up and kind of watched a few practices. I liked the size of him, I liked the look, and then I liked what I saw out of him once he was out there on the practice field the other day. But with those 3 guys I mentioned ahead of him, I don't know how fast they'll want to rush him unless as we said with last year, it didn't shake out and they've got to change some things up. But I really like this group on paper a lot better even than last year.
How about the receiver room continuity? I love their personnel at wide receiver. I think they're going to have a fantastic group of weaponry. They lose Haas a couple weeks back. It sounds like he's going to be out for an indefinite period of time. But with top 3 receivers, even if you want to throw a couple young guys in there, plus Daquan Wright, it feels like that group can kind of go with anybody. What have been kind of the early returns with the new additions in Stribling and Trey Wallace?
they've been real high. I think, in fact, Lane said the other day he felt wide receiver, especially out wide, is the most depth that I think of this whole team, but maybe in those positions that he's had, he feels like he could put anybody out there. And, even including returning Caden Lee, who's their only returning guy from last year, and everybody else is either freshmen or transfers coming in with Stribling, Deuce Alexander, Traylon Ray, and those. And so there's so many options that now with the Haas injury, where it looks like at least maybe October at the earliest, if that's what we've been told, but we've been told different things. They've now moved. They have the luxury of moving Caleb Odom, the Alabama transfer, who's been moved now to the tight end room, and that looks like where he's going to be for now, until Luke comes back and gets his sea legs back under him. And I like that he can play that receiver option, that tight end option. He's going to be kind of that, I think, utility guy because there's so much depth out wide. But I really think that's the strength of this team.
Well, what would it look like without Luke Haas? Because that's one that we were pretty excited about when you looked at that tight end tandem that they were going to be able to throw on the field, the athleticism that they were going to have there to be able to move those positions around, do some different things, potentially out of 12 personnel with he and Daquan Wright. What will it look like in his absence?
Yeah, I think you might lose a little bit because I was excited about seeing what he can do. I thought he would be a great replacement from Caden Prescorn, if not even add more than what Caden did, which he had a strong career here for 2 years despite some injuries. I think you do lose a little bit because I think we also wanted to see if he'd be able to add to that pass block, run block that has been lacking at times, even with the O-line and in the tight end department. So that I think that'll cause him to get a little creative in those kind of protection schemes until he gets back. But once he does, I really like this group if Luke can play at full strength once he gets back from this injury.
What about Austin Simmons? Taking us a couple minutes before we ask you about him. I love him. I think he's super talented. But I'm curious about his mobility. I mean, so much about what made Jackson Dart difficult to defend is him being able to take off, run. I think Simmons throws it better than Dart, if I'm being honest. But I don't know if he has the same feel, the same gamer level as what we've seen from Jackson Dart. So what do you know about his mobility and willingness to run?
Yeah, I think he's willing to run. I don't know if Lane's willing to let him run because he was asked the other day about any type of plans for them to have Simmons as a runner, I guess without him giving away any game plan or schematic stuff. But he basically said there's no, at the moment, plans for Simmons to kind of be that running threat as well, which I think is why they brought in Trinidad Chambliss from Ferris State as maybe the guy to have some run packages, because so far what we've watched is Austin kind of be that old school traditional pocket passer and not really run much. Now, of course, plays will break down. He'll have to scramble. But I think right now they're not really wanting to ask him to call a play where he's going to carry the ball and run like Dart would and just put his head down and take on some linebackers in the backfield.
It's going to be intriguing to see. Is there a player, be it incoming freshman transfer, that maybe the buzz around the facility is a little bit more than it's getting publicly, that maybe even after day one of practice, people starting to have a little more chatter about, think that could impact this football team?
Yeah, going back to that tight end position, they really had a true freshman Hayden Bradley, a recruited or touted recruit, get a lot of reps, more than I thought he would, and that maybe just due to the injury, but it felt like that it was a plan for him to get as much action and reps in camp as possible. So I wouldn't be shocked if you see a true freshman out there lined up at tight end at times. That's the one that stood out the most to me in terms of one that I didn't have circled to watch that first day of practice.
All right, there you go. We appreciate the time, Jake. Thanks for getting us caught up on Ole Miss, and we'll catch up with you again soon.
All right, I appreciate it. Thank you all.
There you go. Jake Thompson joining us on the Higginbotham Hotline discussing kind of Ole Miss first day of practice. You're not losing confidence on Austin Simmons, are you?
Heck no.
Okay, you've just been so high on him all offseason. I was like, let's not go backwards now.
No, gosh, no. I'm not at all. I'm just curious how much they're going to use quarterback run. Austin Simmons is going to be a dude, man. I said on SportsCenter yesterday, or on ESPN Bet yesterday, you want like a dark horse Heisman with some good value, and he's sitting there at 40-1. Don't hate the price there.
Okay, I'm glad you brought up Heisman. I want to spend a little bit of time on that later next hour because some of the numbers that are out and then some of the predictions that are being made, I'm intrigued to see kind of where you would go on it, what you would think about it, because it's not, I don't think, what a lot of other people believe. Either it should be or it will be. And we'll take some time on that. Next hour, we've got the coach, Wim Sanderson, coming up. He'll be there with us. But Damian, tell our listeners if they want to be a part of the Jox Kickoff, exactly how they can make that happen.
You go to joxfm.com for more information, but to celebrate the kickoff to college football with us at the Bill Smith Buick GMC Jox Kickoff Party at Regents Field on Thursday, August 21st, you got to win tickets. So the key word today is free, F-R-E-E. You send in the word free and your full name to 205-834-9450. That's free and your full name to 205-834-9450. Winners are drawn and notified daily. And again, for more information, visit joxfm.com.
We love the Jox Kickoff Party. It's always fun to interact with the listeners, especially with the season coming up, and get an idea of just what these teams are going to be, how they're going to look. Get everybody's thoughts on who's going to win certain things, Heisman, National Championship, SEC, other conferences. It's a fun night. So come hang out with us. Come be a part of it. Come check us out. A lot more college football in the next hour. We'll hear from Hugh Freeze. Obviously, Auburn's first day of practice. Get his thoughts on that roster, that team, kind of where things are. We'll hear from him. Obviously, more that we want to talk about. I just mentioned Heisman a moment ago. Maybe do some more and/or with Greg that we did yesterday, where he throws two teams out, and we just give our opinion on who's going to have the better season right now based on what we know about those teams. If you missed Brian Haydad, Brett Ciancia, Jake Thompson already on the show breaking down college football, joxfm.com, the Jox app. You just go hit the Jox store right now in the Jox app. It'll take you to YouTube. It can take you to the podcast. You can listen live, always right there on the Jox app. Watch us back on YouTube. Search Jox945 each and every day. Tell your home smart speaker to enable the Jox skill. A lot more college football coming your way, including a breakdown of Auburn's first day, what Hugh Freeze had to say, what we think that means, and some of the messages that may be trying to be sent, and almost doubling down on some of the Jackson Arnold versus the Auburn defense talk that we had at SEC Media Days. That and more all coming up next hour right here on Three-Man Front. Wow, almost said that.
Let's go.
Right here on McElroy and Cubelic in the morning. I thought I was tossing it to Three-Man Front, but we got to do another hour of radio. We'll do it next right here on Jox. Welcome back in. McElroy and Cubelic in the morning. Hour number 3 underway right here on Jox. He joins us each and every week. Thanks to our friends at Coke and Piggly Wiggly. It's the coach, Wim Sanderson. Coach, how are we doing today?
Okay, a couple of things. I think it's a little bit difficult to, and I know this is, it's a little bit hard to play a bad name, good team. I think to some degree that's what Auburn's doing for both of you. I think Baylor's not looked upon in the SEC as one of the great ones, but they have been good in the past. But they've got a good team, and you've got to go there. I was very, very careful when I coached, when I first got the job at Alabama. I played somebody. I know the schedule was 6-4. He got there. I got that. But when I got the job, nobody wanted me to have it. But I wanted to play somebody I could beat the first game. You two probably disagree with that totally. You may like LSU at Clemson. You may like Ohio State, and you know that team's Texas. But I didn't. I wanted somebody I could beat the first game, look at my team, because nobody wanted me to have a job anyway, I guess, in my situation. Basketball's a little different, I guess. Any thoughts by both of you on that?
I just always think it depends on where your program is, Coach.
Okay.
If you're solidified, if you're bona fide, I love it. Go play the best of the best. Go get it done. If you're Mississippi State right now, you need wins. And for a lot of reasons. You need confidence. You need your team to believe they can win. And you're the coach. You need to not get fired. That's it.
Bad game. Southern Miss, bad game.
We say that, Coach, but you're Mississippi State. You shouldn't lose that game. I don't care who the coach is, who the players are. I'll take it back to Rick Trickett here. Go to the whiteboard and drop. Use Auburn, them Southern Miss. You should win the game.
You're safe because you got a new coach there who's pretty darn good. It's going to have time, but it basically is the 34th game of your 34th season that you're there. Bad game. I think they've had multiple good coaches there over the last decade, and not many have been able to win. So you still should win that football game. Yeah, when they had the death there, that affected them. Anything, Greg? What is he thought? Is he there today?
Yeah,
Greg's actually here today.
Any thought?
Yeah, I mean, I think that there are games that are challenging. I would put that into the category of a very challenging game. And because I think when you look at it, I think a lot of it has to do with you don't really gain much by winning it, but you can lose a lot by losing it.
That's right. That's exactly right.
And
I played somebody I could beat. Yeah.
So that's why I think when you look at everything, it makes a lot of sense with what you're saying. But then again, I also think as a coach that's trying to kind of cut his teeth a bit, a la a Jeff Lebby, trying to build up some rapport within his fan base, playing games that matter to his fan base are also very important. So, okay, yeah, kind of, are you going to put a statue up if you beat Southern Miss? No, but your fans are going to be pumped because they're going to have a year's worth of ammunition against Southern Miss when they're out there living their daily lives.
It's the Arkansas State thing with Sam. What does he truly get from playing or winning that football game? Not much, but he's the first coach to agree to do it. No other coaches in Arkansas has ever played Arkansas State. So there's going to be a large portion of the fan base that appreciates that likes that. Sure. But at the same time, like Greg said, what are you getting nationally from that? Not a whole lot.
Well, Ray went in there and didn't win the game. Ray Perkins, when I was there. Actually left us. The other thing I want to ask you two smart guys about is the problem with the general manager. The general manager is sitting there with the assistant coach coming in saying, I got to get this much more money to keep this guy because I recruited him. Or he's coming in there to say, I'm about to get this guy. I thought I could get him for this number, but I can't. Now, your general manager is caught between the head coach and the athletic director. Number one, the athletic director furnishes the money, which will be probably 75% of all the monies that you have for football, although everybody else, except for Kentucky. So you try to figure out exactly where you stand with your money, with your athletic director, and then you dodge back to your coach, your head coach, to sort of say what you're thinking of doing and what the assistant coaches think and what y'all talk about in the offensive and defensive meetings about these kinds of players. That's a booger bear situation. I'd like both of you to comment on that. That general manager is not talked about much. He's supposed to be good at Alabama and Auburn, and I think he is. But it's not easy, is it?
It's not easy, but I do think it alters. I think it's different in different places. You look at what Oklahoma just did. You go get the former director of the Senior Bowl, who is probably sitting there grinding a lot of tape, because that's what he did. He hit the road and he went to Tulsa and he went to Akron and he went to Tuscaloosa and he went to every place to watch kids play. So I would believe his specialty a little bit more is, I don't think we should waste our money on that guy. We need to go get that guy. And then you have other guys that are either going to be relationship guys, because when the second string left tackle comes down the hall and walks in the head coach's office and says, why is he getting $50,000 a year more than me? I'm outperforming him in camp. I need my money or I'm leaving. The head coach can say, well, if you would go talk to blank about that, he would love to get that squared away for you. I don't manage that, so I'm really sorry. I really want to keep you. I'm a big fan of yours, but I'm so sorry that I don't handle the money here. But so-and-so would love to go down there and help you get that right.
You go to your AD and you name off two people, and your AD says to the coach, I don't have that much money for those two guys. I can't do it. You hadn't talked to head coach yet about it. But I don't think we can get that right now. So you go back to the head coach and say to him, talk to the AD, and AD says, we ain't quite got it for those kind of
I'll be honest with you, Coach, this is just my opinion. If I had a player come into my office and say he went to the AD to talk about his NIL money, I would ask him, what in the hell are we doing?
Well, I'm talking about the situation is that your general manager goes to the AD, and your general manager says, Coach so-and-so has been in here to see me, and he wants these two guys, and here's what you got to pay him. And your athletic director says, even though he's giving most of his money to football, right now we might can take one of those at that price, but not both of them. They want to come together.
No, I think the athletic director says, here's your budget, Slick. Like, figure it out. Like, I give you a certain amount of a revenue. Yeah. Y'all budget it. Yeah. Figure it out. Like, we're not Scrooge McDuck over here. We'll just go back to the vault and start spitting more coins out.
You're right. Yeah, you're right to some extent. Greg, go ahead. What you think?
I don't know.
It's a booger.
It is a little bit. I do think there's some really weird circumstances a la Stanford.
Yep. Thank you.
Stanford, for example, Andrew Luck is completely in charge of football. So the head coach answers to him. Whatever general manager they end up putting in place answers to him. So you essentially have an owner, if you will, in college football. Didn't put up the equity for it, did on the field, and was maybe the greatest player in Stanford history, arguably next to John Elway and
McCaffrey.
And McCaffrey'd be in that mix, and
David DeCastro.
No, you would have him on there.
Touchdown, Tommy Vardell,
the guy that played that won the Heisman in 1980.
Well, you got that. I tell you something else too with Stanford too, Greg, is that Stanford is number 7, and it doesn't really matter. I don't go about. I do it for the radio shows, but Stanford picked 17th in the ACC this year. Why they picked 17th? Because the transfers can't come in there with the kind of grades that Stanford needs to get them in some cases, and that kills them. And so I think that's part of the reason they picked 17th. I don't know that. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I know they're not letting everybody in. That's fair. No. They also don't have any money, so that doesn't help either. And I think that them being in the ACC is strange. Like, I think California kids that would have once gone to Stanford, but let's be real. Stanford's always recruited nationally because of the entrance level is hard. Getting into Stanford is extremely difficult. Like, you have to apply as someone that went through the process. You have to apply to Stanford before they can extend an offer.
Yeah.
Which is strange.
Well,
a committable offer.
Yeah. Well, it costs a lot of money for the volleyball team to fly down to ACC school and play twice. If Coach Bryan and Johnny Vaught would wake up this day and time, they would absolutely faint with all this going on. So I've almost fainted myself, and it's unbelievable. So Kentucky is giving more than anybody to the basketball. I think that's fine.
Is that still true?
Let me tell you this. When you look at it, you say there is no way to do that and succeed because football is going to outdraw basketball. I don't make any difference what you say. I understand that. I didn't come in on a turnip truck. I understand that. But the one factor that they do when they give that money is those Kentucky boosters who have so much money, and there's a bunch of them, who have so much money, they will pour the money into Kentucky basketball more so than anybody else will. And so that makes it a little bit different. I realize that basketball can't come up with football attendance wise and certainly not money wise, because believe it or not, Kentucky football draws. They do. I know all about it. They like football at Kentucky. They really do. They play a weak schedule, but that's what you do that's what you try to do in football, try to win some games. So I think.
Is Arkansas not ahead of Kentucky right now on funding from NIL standpoint?
I would doubt it. I think the one thing about Arkansas, I think the Arkansas coach is terrific, a terrific person, a very good football coach. I don't know that he's got the personality to go in and knock people out about money. You got to have a kind of personality that'll go in and kind of like me, just say what he don't say, and if you don't like it, lump it.
You don't think Cal's good at getting money?
Yeah, I think they are in basketball. Yeah.
Oh, okay. You're talking about Pittman.
Football. Yeah. I think Pittman's a good person. I don't know that and the money is there. I was in Little Rock for 5 years. Little Rock got more hidden money than they ever dream of. I mean, they got their money's hidden, but they got it. And so it to me, those kinds of things, as we try to figure out something to talk about between now and the opening night, there are things that are a little bit interesting to me. Y'all know more about them than I do. I know basketball can't care. Your athletic directors are careful. You look at LSU. They're giving 80% of their money to football. They've got a women's basketball program who thinks they're the number one team in America. And
are they not? Do you not think they are?
I don't know. Probably not. South Carolina. Probably.
Well, I'll go. UConn, coach. I'm going UConn right now.
Oh, UConn. Yeah. All right, okay. Baseball won the national championship. So where does that stand? Men's basketball? Not so good. Not so good. So with the money that you're getting, and you have to go to each school and sort of try to study it. I try to study it. I miss on most of it, and sometimes I'll get one right. But when I try to study what they do, it's not easy for our fans to understand it.
I think what you're trying to say, and this is what's going to be really interesting moving forward in college athletics, if it stays even similar to what it is right now. Where's the money doled out? To the losing programs that generate and have the potential to generate a lot more, or the winning programs that lose money? Because fans want to see you win, but
yeah, they want to see.
It's cool to win. It's not cool to lose money. Yeah. And I think we all understand that money will be the driver at the end of the day.
Yeah, well, that's true. Well, I've taken up enough of your time.
Well, I have one question for you before we let you go, if you don't mind.
You asked me. I'll stay as long as you want me to stay. I just don't want to stay too long because you don't want to over.
Well, no, we have fall camp opening up for a lot of teams, and that means first practice for a lot of groups, new players, new things. Guys got to learn. Guys got to feel out people or things around them. Give us some of what you wanted to accomplish on first days of practice.
I want to emphasize what I'm going to do the most of, and that's for me was defense. want to emphasize what we're going to play on both ends of the floor.
Okay.
And we're going. That's the most important thing. We're going. I want you to shoot the basketball. I want you to have a chance to have the open shot, and we're going to screen for you to be open. But the most important player on your team is your teammate, and your teammate get it in the basketball if he's open. You got to guard somebody, and the guy that you're going to be defending, and I'm talking to him at midcourt as we go out to practice. The guy that you're going to be defending is as good or better than you are, he wouldn't be there. And so we're going to practice hard. The other factor that we did, and I don't sound like I'm bragging, but I guess I am. The reason we got in the final game of the SEC tournament 9 out of 12 years was because we didn't lose their legs. When we got to February, we practiced 30 minutes, and we bragged about it. And we said, let's go hard 30 minutes and go home. Everybody else is practicing 3 hours. And so we talked about being live-legged, and we got in the final game 9 out of 12 years, won it 5 times. We had good our players won it, not me. So I won't hang the phone up and say Wimp said he did. I didn't do nothing. Players did that. But the players were ready to go. They liked the quick practices in February and March. They were wore out with practice to start with. Those are the kinds of things I did that made our team successful.
Appreciate it.
That's about it. So I'll tell you about Coca-Cola and Piggly Wiggly. Go to Piggly Wiggly, you'll be successful. They got meats. They got everything in the world you want. They got Coca-Cola's a great product too. But Piggly Wiggly, Stan Vasiglio, I'm having lunch with them today. And they're wonderful people, and they'll do everything they possibly can to make it a good atmosphere for you to go into Piggly Wiggly and get whatever you want, from wine to groceries to meats. And I always enjoyed being on your guys' show, and I never know exactly what I'm going to say, but sometimes I say okay. So
we appreciate you, Coach. Great stuff.
Y'all are good. All right.
Talk to you soon. There you go. The Coach Wimp Sanderson joining us on the Higginbotham Hotline. Went through a lot there. We'll recap some of it, get into even more college football talk next on Jox. Being from Texas, I got to ask you a question, Greg. Something that came across my feed / timeline the other day.
Yes.
I need to get this out on social as well. How and why this is happening or came about, I do not know. But I'll send this now to you and Damien. I'll tweet this out from the show's account, and you guys let me know what you're thinking here. We all are fans of Nike, correct?
Pretty big fan of the swoosh, yeah.
Yeah, we have things. We've purchased things. They're taking a little bit of a turn here.
I've definitely spent some money at Nike.
Yep. I doubt you'll be spending money on their new products, though.
That's what you think.
Okay. I have just sent you Nike's newest belt buckle.
Yep.
That they have put out.
I will be ordering that.
Okay. You won't, but.
Bet. That is absolute lock.
Will you just do it? And that is wear this belt buckle.
That is bona fide hammer time. I got to have that.
Have they just cornered all the other markets and they're like, you know what, guys? New business plan. We got to infiltrate the rodeos.
Been thinking about how do we get into the rodeo world, boys?
Nike Air Max cowboy boot.
Somebody in one of their executive meetings said, you know what, guys? I got it. Country is cool now, though. Country is cool.
Well, based on what you and I saw in Atlanta a couple Sundays ago.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah, the Beyonce concert, right?
They might sell some of these, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, they'll sell some.
I'm just going to be honest with you, Damien. I think it'd be a safe bet that I saw more black people in cowboy hats Sunday and Monday 3 weeks ago than I have leading up to that in 40-something years on this earth. Actually, I'll say it's not even close.
I can imagine so.
I just didn't know that whole Beyonce movement had gone that far west.
Southwestern.
So maybe that is why Nike decides this is. You can go to Mac and Cube and see it now, if you feel like you want it. Oh, this thing's already for sale. $137.
Oh yeah,
for the Nike belt.
That's a lock.
Yeah, y'all can have every bit of it.
Why?
First off, some belt buckles are cool. This doesn't even look good. Nike country.
Let's ride.
I feel like you're being too hard on them.
Just do it, y'all.
Air Stampede. 25.
I feel like it's a lock. I don't know why you're not. Well, you haven't ordered one.
Air Bull Rider. I bet they've sold 4 of these.
I just bought 2. One in brown, one in black. I didn't go bedazzled.
Do it.
You didn't go bedazzled.
Wear it in here.
That.
You took that one.
That's a bit feminine for me.
We want to see it.
I don't need the cubic zirconias.
Well,
don't need that.
all right.
It really doesn't look that bad. I don't know.
It's not a good
wear
look.
it.
It's not a strong look.
I would not wear it. I'm just being fully
Right, like,
transparent.
it's not bad,
I would not wear it, but it's not that bad.
No.
It's really not.
Right.
Like, Nike is a tremendous brand. And belt buckles are cool.
Excuse me?
In some circles.
Okay.
They are. I actually think they look decent. Is that bad? I wouldn't wear it. Like I said, I wouldn't wear it. But I think it looks decent. I also wouldn't wear the ice cream shorts that the kids are wearing nowadays.
Can I say something about the kids' outfits too?
Oh boy.
Well, I remember the last time, I don't know if it was going into last season or 2 seasons ago. I had to, Greg will tell you, like every few years you got to add to your wardrobe. You need a couple more suits. You need some dress shirts. And Mike Adams, he lives in Decatur. He helps me out with a lot of my stuff. And my wife was there too, and she was asking, she's like, what about, I don't forget the patterns, like plaids with the striped tie or like the polka dot tie with the plaid shirt. And he goes, listen, we've pretty much gotten to where the rules just don't even apply anymore. Like people are wearing pinstripe suits with plaid shirts and polka dot ties, and like no one says anything about it.
Yes.
Kids' outfits today there's literally any sort of rhyme and reason. I pulled up to my home last night, and my son had these shorts that Greg's talking about on, which, by the way, are a little bit of tan, baby blue, and white, with a red T-shirt a pinstripe Yankees jersey over the T-shirt, an orange hat, and some kind of USA red, white, and blue socks pulled up and camo Crocs. I'm like, he almost had to try to look this bad. Like, it took a lot of effort to look this hideous. It's like the kid went to every drawer and said, what's the furthest away from the last item of clothing that I retrieved? Camo. Got it.
Needed that.
What's the one thing that I don't have that's the furthest from everything else that I've already chosen? Red, white, and blue socks. Got them. Bam. I mean, the kid couldn't have tried to have been further away from each individual garment of clothing he had on. And by the way, his 4 friends that were standing there with him were not far apart from him.
Yeah.
They just didn't have the pinstripe jersey over the red T-shirt.
That's the most disturbing part, is how accepted it is.
I mean, it's just, there's not any semblance of match or colors that go together or same league, same sport, same type of clothing. It's just a complete hodgepodge of madness.
There's no theme.
The theme is chaos.
Well,
it's literally the All-State Mayhem guy is what their outfits are.
It's not wrong. But then again,
your outfit can create mayhem like me.
The worst I've seen is still like what's always blown my mind. Like, y'all remember back in the day? Like, remember back in the day when we would get the East Bay catalog?
Oh man, that thing was gold.
It was the best. And like, all I ever wanted to do was have green and white shoes.
Wait, like one green, one white?
No, green and white.
Because we've done that too.
Like typical.
My son's got the Janai Broom shoes that he wore that's like one orange, one blue.
Awful.
And it's amazing how many, sorry to interrupt you, how many times we've been in public and another adult has come up to me and said, did he do that on purpose? Like, you know that one's blue. I was like, I'm not colorblind. They come that way. Oh, I'm sorry, what? That they're in the box that way when you buy them, ma'am. Thanks for the update, though.
Man.
Yeah.
I can't.
Hey, that's what he wanted. Like I said, it goes further into the how obscenely hideous can we create an outfit on a daily basis. Sorry, continue, Greg.
What I'm trying to figure out is all I ever wanted to do was find shoes that matched my jersey color, that matched what I was wearing. Like, I wanted to have every colorway of Air Max because whatever shirt color I was wearing that day, it was going to match my shoes.
Yeah, if you had a fly Eagles throwback, like you were going to need some kind of green shoe to go with that.
You needed a Kelly green shoe. Everything matched. Like, it was like you would do whatever it took to match. Now, it's whatever you can do to make sure it doesn't match. Like, you know what? I'm on the Dodgers. Do they have bright neon pink cleats in? Like, oh, I'm playing this year for the Rockets, where our colors are red and white in the rec league. Oh, you know what would look sweet? Yellow Steph Curry's. What?
I'm telling you,
the
he's got
brighter the colors, and we wore bright colors, I'm sure. But the amount as a 7-year-old boy, I would not have been caught dead wearing baby blue and or pink ever, because those were, quote, girl colors. Now it's like, whew, I want one that's brighter pink. I want hotter pink than that.
Yeah, well, both of those have become very acceptable baseball colors. Whether it's wristbands, batting gloves, the actual gloves, the bats, they're a part of it.
I don't have a problem.
No,
with
but
it.
I'm just saying,
Fine.
like, they've gone mainstream in the baseball community, and so that's why a lot of the gear is going to have it in there, because that's just what they see on the other stuff. He got the new John Morant's for back to school that are like, they're not red, they're not pink, they're like somewhere in between. They got the Kool-Aid Man on the tongue. They're kind of sweet, but I'm just like, you realize that it's not going to go with a lot. And then I thought to myself, why did I just say that? Doesn't care. That has nothing to do with anything. Why does John Morant have 12 a.m. on the back of his shoes, by the way? I probably don't want to know the answer to that. My wife asked me, and I said, we probably don't want to know that answer. based on the things that have happened after 12 a.m.
I have no problem. I really have no problem with the kids like expressing themselves. I still think at my core, the thing I struggle with the most are utilizing, and I witnessed this again yesterday. You and I have talked about this. Since when have Crocs become an acceptable athletic shoe? We go to the field last night and we're, throwing in the and just messing around. Vince wants to hit the crossbar. He now thinks like throwing it and hitting the crossbar is the coolest thing ever. And like he wants to run routes and all this stuff. It's like, yeah, dude, for sure. You're 3 years away from football, so if you want to get after it, let's go.
Figure it out.
You know what shoes I'll get? Not my cleats.
You can't see.
You know what shoes I'll get? Not my Nike Air Maxes. Nope. Can't wear those. I won't even wear my Giannis basketball shoes. I think my Crocs are what I need to pull off these ladder drills.
You put them in sport mode, man.
Good news is we don't have a ladder, but I can promise you if we had one, we'd be running through the
Be
ladder.
safer than routes in Crocs. Yeah. My 8-year-old plays basketball in them. Every time we shoot, I'm like, put some sneakers on, man. Like, this is not good for your ankles. Nope. Doesn't care. I'm with you on that. And then you go up to school picking them up, and they're all out there. Full speed football, Crocs. Waiting on it. B-Ham Dog wants to chime in. Welcome on the Higginbotham Hotline, Dog.
Hey, long time no talk, guys. Yeah, I tried to make a fashion statement this past week at the beach, and I'm a cowboy hat type dude on the beach.
Let's
go.
I
know. Yeah,
that's for function, not for statement. That's function.
I tell people, hey, this ain't a fashion statement. This is a lifestyle for me, bro.
Yes.
But anyway, I got the pink Chubbs bathing suit on.
Oh boy.
And I'm 52 years old. I'm walking back up to shower off, my wife and I, and there's this Vietnam vet. Guy just looks tough. He goes, anybody wear a cowboy hat and pink bathing suit's got to be a tough SOB. And I chuckle, and I'm walking out with my chest mode, and my wife goes, I think he was making fun of you, dear. I don't think that was a compliment. Dude, these shorts, man, if you're not familiar with the shorts, you know the scene in Family Guy when Joe is like skydiving, his legs are just flopping?
Oh, yeah.
You're a lot of flopping in the ocean when you're 52 years old and you're wearing Chubbs. I don't recommend it, guys.
That's amazing.
Have a great day.
Appreciate it.
I would if I came up to somebody on the beach, though, that was rocking cowboy hat and a bright pink bathing suit. I'd be scared of that guy because he's like wanting you to think he's maybe a bit soft with the bathing suit, but the cowboy hat, I want no problems, man. Like I feel like he's inviting some type of altercation. He's like, hey, try me, son. That's what he's doing. By wearing a pink bathing suit.
Say it.
Try me. And then, pow! See ya. I want no part of that guy.
Yeah, I don't know if that's where my brain would have gone.
That's not where it goes?
No. That's probably more along the lines of, what are we doing? Yeah, probably not so much scared. But yeah. It is wild, though, the kids, man, what they're wearing is nuts.
It's amazing.
I've just gotten to where I'm not even going to comment on it anymore. I expect the most insane. I'll go home today, and it'll be on top of yesterday in the ridiculous category.
Do you realize, like, I'm someone that will, if I like something, I will get it in every color. Like, I think I had 8 different flat bill Dodger hats, all different colors. 8 different Nike Air Max colorways, 97.
You were going like the turtle Dodger hats that were like green,
all of them,
and red.
Everywhere. Every single one.
That was always a no-go for me.
Every single one.
No, can't do it.
Every single one.
Not going to do it.
Every single one. So all that looking at it, man, like, hey, do your thing. Like, I can't be mad at it. I wouldn't have mashed it up, but I'm good with it.
Oh, that's what I said. I've just moved on to like, hey, if your level of confidence thinks that that's cool, ride with it. Ride or die. Show them what you got. All right, we need to get to a break, but if you need to get to a new home, Gusty Ghouls and the Gusty Ghouls Group can help you. Why? They've served more than 3,000 home buyers and sellers in the greater Birmingham area. They want to help you as well. Get into that dream home, or if you want to know how much your home is worth, go to GustyGhoulsGroup.com today. Button top right of the page. Smash that button, And you're going to have, with just very little information, what they think your home is worth right now. Over 850 5-star Google reviews, brokered by eXp Realty. Gusty's aggressive improvement selling system can help you. It's helped so many others. That's why since 2012, Gusty Gools Group recognized both nationally and locally as Greater Birmingham, Alabama's #1 team in homes sold. So do this today. Go to GustyGoolsGroup.com, Google Gusty Gools Group, or call 205-542-1996 and start packing. Back with more college football next. Welcome back in. McElroy and Cubelic in the morning. 800-239-9569. You want to get in, talk ridiculous children's outfits, we can do that. Or if you want to get back into football, we will talk a little bit more Auburn football. You'll hear from Hugh Freeze in just a moment. First, got to tell you about my friends at Royal Automotive. They make car shopping easy. And you probably say, well, everybody thinks they do that. Why is Royal different? Because they're going to give you 4 dealerships, 1 destination, unmatched selection and savings. Royal Buick GMC, Royal Volkswagen, Royal Automart, Volvo Cars of Vestavia Hills, all at the corner of I-65 and Highway 31 of Vestavia. From sales to service, the team at Royal can help you find that new ride and keep you rolling when it's time to start searching for that next vehicle. All 4 stores in one location mean you get behind the wheel and test drive without driving all over town. And when they say for every ride there's Royal, they mean it. If you're shopping for that very first ride or your dream ride, go see my friends at Royal. Royal Buick GMC, Royal Volkswagen, Royal Automart, Volvo Cars of Vestavia Hills at the corner of I-65 and Highway 31 of Vestavia. Online at royalautomotive.net. One thing that Hugh Freeze did add some clarification to yesterday, we read you the quote, but he did go into Malcolm Simmons being cleared to practice. This was Coach Freeze on that topic. So Malcolm Simmons be a part of team activities, and we'll see how that plays out moving forward. There is a word that Auburn is focusing on for this preseason. Hugh Freeze discussed that. Are you okay with the slogans, verbiage, teaching different sayings throughout camp, GMAC?
Yeah, I'm fine with it because it's an easy thing for the guys to kind of grasp onto. And look, I think if it's memorable, I mean, we've seen it work with great success in some places like Minnesota. We've seen it work horribly at a place like Tennessee. Like, it kind of depends on what the kids grasp onto, right? Like, okay, Tennessee, Champions of Life didn't work, right? Doesn't work.
5-star heart, though.
That didn't work.
Brick
right?
by brick.
Didn't work there. At Minnesota, it worked great, right? It works great for PJ Fleck and everything he does. So I think it a little bit depends on the place. It also depends on the success. Like, if you're winning, no one cares. If you're not winning, no, you know.
Totally fair.
So I'm good with it.
All right, we've talked about it for weeks now, since SEC Media Days. Coach Freeze continuing to discuss the building a quarterback's confidence in practice with certain instructions for the defense yesterday. So doubling, tripling, quadrupling down on this, Greg. And there were some folks that were asking questions yesterday that were confused, some wondering how, why. Others think this is fine. We've been on different sides of it, but doesn't feel like Coach Freeze is going to get away from this. And is there any more clarity that you felt has been added to it based on what you've heard him say?
No. I mean, I still don't have a problem with it. He talks about the dirty ball period. Like, I think that's great. I don't have any problem with it at all. I know you and some others have been a little concerned about it. I think there's a time and a place to make sure it's really hard and junked up. but there's also a time to make it a little bit more manageable on the offense to generate some confidence with all the new pieces on that side of the ball. So it doesn't bother me because you need both sides to feel good. You absolutely need both sides to feel good, and if you don't, you're in a tough spot.
So that's Hugh Freeze yesterday from Auburn camp. As it continues to move forward, where will your focus go in Auburn camp? Is it strictly going to be a quarterback? Is that kind of the main thing you want to try to learn about, need more information on?
Yes. I mean, I think if we can find out about the quarterback making progress, find out about the quarterback making good decisions, making split-second decisions, then you can probably feel a whole heck of a lot better with what this team might be able to accomplish. Because let's be real, it's the biggest question mark. The biggest question mark is for sure the quarterback to me.
It's a massive
Is it for
one.
you?
Yeah, probably. Like I said the other day, I do want to hear that the offensive line is living up to expectation first, because then I think that gives us a little bit of a different feel of what the team really has a chance to be. But if there's problems at quarterback, none of those stuff really matters.
Right.
I mean, it's just it's not going to – quarterback's going to be huge at Auburn.
Massive.
And it's huge most places, but he's got to be good, and he's got to be on time, and he can't make a lot of mistakes. Got to make good decisions. John in Trustville wants to talk quarterbacks. Welcome into the show, John.
Hey, guys. Just thinking about, whoever the starter is for Alabama this year, this is going to be a first-year starter. And I think I've done the math right, that since we were in school, Greg, this is the 10th first-year starter Alabama has had. So my question is, when you look at the talent around this first-year starter this year, presumably Ty, how does that rank against the other first-year starters since we've been in school, since 2009?
I mean,
is this the offense you want to, like, is this like up there in the top 5, top 4 of like you step into it, or is this like one of the weaker offenses for a first year starter since the run started?
No, I mean, I think the team has a really good chance to be in really good shape with the offense, right? I mean, I look at a lot of it has to do with your supporting cast. Like if you have an inadequate supporting cast, it's going to be a whole heck of a lot harder on the quarterback, right? But the supporting cast this year, I feel really good about. I think a lot of people do, rightfully, I might add. So that's probably how I would kind of phrase it, is that you have a guy in a run game that should be good, offensive line that should be good, wide receivers that should be good. And you might have relative inexperience at the quarterback spot as far as starting, but he is going to be able to kind of be a distributor and don't try to be a hero. And I think sometimes when you look at quarterbacks that have had success as a first-year starting quarterback, I won it as a first-year starting quarterback in 9. AJ won it as a first-year starting quarterback in 11. Coker won it as a first-year starting quarterback in 15. Mac won it as a first-year full-time starting quarterback in 20. I think sometimes you have to understand that games are given away because a guy might try to do too much. But if you just kind of stay within the system, you're probably going to be all right. And the first-year starting quarterback, because of inexperience, is more likely to stay within the system than a guy that might try to do a little too much in a situation as the game progresses.
Absolutely. All right, get to a break, come back, wrap it up for today on Mac and Cube in the morning. All right, welcome back in. McElroy and Cubelic in the morning. A lot of college football talk today. We didn't get to our Heisman conversation, Greg, and that was one that I wanted to have with you. Do you feel like that for you, there is a singular, clear-cut front runner for the Heisman Trophy this year?
Well, in order to declare your single front runner, you have to understand how the Heisman works, and it's a popularity contest. So, yes, the single front runner is Arch Manning.
Okay, how realistic do you think it is for him to go win it? I mean, you and I during the break, multiple breaks today, been talking about Texas's offensive line and the real concerns we have.
I'm with you, and I think all of those concerns are justified and realistic. But I do think that if he goes out, wins the game against Ohio State, and puts up decent numbers, he's going to be hard to beat. If they're in the SEC title game, he's going to be hard to beat because so many people will be enamored. And all the highlights, they're not going to show it's a little bit how you're covered, right? Like, you don't show the guy throwing a dirt ball on the highlight reel because the narrative around him is the great hope, you know?
Just FYI, Quinn Ewers was 24 of 36 for 248, 3 touchdowns, no picks against Michigan week 2.
Correct. He ain't Quinn as far as the amount of hype surrounding him. People are going to wet their pants with he might throw it just like they did with Tebow. If Tebow would like flex after a 6-yard gain, it was like people freaked out. It's like, it's a little how you're covered, you know, and I think he's going to be covered in a way that will be extremely positive. Rightfully, the kid's done everything right up to this point, but I think people are going to treat him differently, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that, but you get treated differently, you have an advantage, especially in what is a popularity contest at the season's end.
How difficult will it be for Jeremiah Smith to win the Heisman this year?
Not, because he can definitely be in the mix. Non-quarterback won it last year. So
I would be more in line with you on Arch, because not only the actual players that you're losing, but the leadership that you're losing with Gunnar Helm, Jake Majors, some of the other guys around you, I think would make it a little bit more impressive, plus the talent that they lost at the same time, but he'll still have a lot of talent around him. I could almost get on board with that. The difficulty of Jeremiah Smith getting it with a lot of new offensive linemen, 2 NFL running backs gone, the receiving core is going to be legit. I mean, it doesn't matter either way, but the guys around you will help. And the uncertainties at quarterback. I mean, you get a young quarterback that maybe doesn't have the confidence trying to force him the football on a very regular basis. That could be concerning for me. Like, that's where I could see, like we got problems.
Yeah, I get it. I think Jeremiah Smith, though, will have to put up massive numbers. I mean, if you're going to win the Heisman as a non-quarterback, and you look at what happened last year with Travis, he became such a huge topic, a huge story. Oh, look how many snaps. Oh, look how much playing time. You know, it's all about snaps, right? So that was just so much higher than everybody else in college football. For Jeremiah only playing offense, it's going to have to be about yards and touchdowns. So look at what it took for Devontae Smith to win it. See if he can get close to those numbers, and he'll have a really good chance this year.
Totally fair. We'll talk more college football tomorrow after we watch a live tackle football game tonight. We'll recap the Hall of Fame game. Yes, there's tackle football on your television tonight. Not the Elf League or Arena 2 or Indoor Football League, the NFL. We'll discuss it tomorrow right here.